reason why this podcast sucks and we have no fans is because Rick and damn Duper talk way too goddamn much.
Hey, it's been a couple weeks and we're live. Welcome back. Take warning. Still
What's up,
six of
fuckers?
us.
Still six.
Still six.
So many people.
I didn't leave.
Okay, bye, Art.
No, you're naked,
No,
so
Art.
you get to stay on. You showed skin.
Yeah, you're our sex appeal tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
You're
are.
bringing
Look,
everything. Look at that. Look at that.
yeah, he's wearing a gray tank top, showing off everything.
Yeah, you can
So
see them
sweaty, so sweaty.
He's
I
got
just
his.
imagine
Don't
what
get
it's.
it-
Oh, we got some-
now we're gonna get
We got some
banned.
sweaty nipples out. Oh man.
No, we can show a man's nipple, right?
Uh,
We can.
well, I don't-
Unfortunately, we can.
They're
Art.
called nipples.
I don't know how you identify. How do you identify?
As spam.
I am a man.
I don't know if that's okay. As a spam, can we show a
I'm a
spam city?
man.
What is man? Duper.
What is a man?
Just look in the mirror, fellas. Just look in the mirror.
All I see is bitches.
Oh!
All right, Art. I gotta give. I want to get Josh in here now, so everybody's aware early. Hey, Josh, how you doing? He froze.
And we're good.
He froze. There he is.
Yeah, it sounds like you're in an
Rubber.
airplane.
Josh, say something. Say anything.
Josh, tell us where.
Something.
What is your destination? Where are you
Oh,
flying
he's
out
got
to?
a sweet delay.
Josh is on a 5-second delay. You got to remember that.
Yeah,
This is your captain speaking.
amazing.
Josh is in Africa currently. He's live reporting from there on the mass shooting that happened out there. So
the one in Nigeria?
Is he
Yeah.
on Starlink?
Oh yeah.
He needs Starlink.
Yeah, I think Starlink would work better than this. So it looks like Josh is going to do a lot of pantomime tonight to let us know what he's thinking. Am I right, Josh?
yeah, dude, do you have a do you have a piece of paper and maybe a whiteboard and a marker?
A marker, anything like that, where we could see what you're going to say? This is
He's-
really good for our listeners.
He's
on
drawing.
Wednesday.
He's drawing. It says
says
I
It says
do.
I do.
So apparently he
Put a ring
writes
on
as
it.
much as he speaks on the show.
Hell yeah.
Josh is about to say something else.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah,
Wow.
he said
Hi.
hi.
What?
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
deep thoughts coming from
Um,
Josh, and he's excited to share it.
So let's go
And
ahead.
Josh
And,
is more articulate than you, Dupe.
let's
I'm sorry,
let's
but,
designate one person, just one person, to read everything Josh says for the rest of the episode.
Ooh, can I say it in a funny voice?
No, Lee does it. Lee
Me?
does it.
Why me?
Yeah, because you don't talk enough. I want to hear your sexy
Oh, good
voice
call.
more.
I talk.
Say it in a
I
funny
talk
voice,
plenty.
But
Can you say it like an old Jewish man?
I want to hear.
Josh
Duper
says
so we can
hello.
mispronounce it.
yeah,
I like
right. And Josh, if you have me do it, you can't write any big words. Okay, too many keep the syllables
You can write.
3 or
He
less.
could say ivermectin.
No multisyllabic words.
Speaking of ivermectin,
Oh, right off the bat.
Oh,
All right.
oh, we're
okay.
getting into it. Let's get it out of the way.
Fantastic. Okay.
Back-to-back theme
Greg, you
songs.
got it?
A lot of pressure. Has to do with breathing. It's kind of hard right now. All right.
Greg,
so
how was your week?
I'm gonna make this quick. Guess who got COVID for a second time?
That guy.
And Rick tried to kill me with the wrong type of ivermectin.
I had COVID
So-
once.
Lee, I want to thank you for after Lee shipped it, or after Rick shipped it, to tell Rick that was the wrong type of ivermectin. So I did
was
not
the-
take it. So you saved my life, Lee. So
I'm
thank you.
I'm
for
glad
that.
I could help.
100% honest with you. I don't
I
know
thought it
what ivermectin is safe to take because I'm pretty sure none of it is. But that's cool
That's not
because
true.
that's the
What
one
do you
that
mean
I got
none of it's
told
safe to
buy
take?
for you.
That's not true.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have malaria, but
Yeah,
I
sure.
was really gonna take it. I'm like, oh, Rick, he's a trustworthy guy, and then he was like,
Why
no.
would you take the ivermectin? That was a literal troll. Like,
Yeah.
as soon as the night you're like, hey, I got COVID, I ordered ivermectin that had a horse on the cover.
You ordered
Hey,
the
Greg.
horse paste for
Yeah,
a
hey,
for,
horse
yeah.
paste.
for a
Like,
500 to 1,000 pound horse.
And
It was-
what else was
so-
impressive? What was really
so
kind
it was
of
the
Rick-
pace, right? You had to brush your teeth with it.
No,
Bro.
you click it. You click it out of a tube. There's literally somebody at my work that has been taking ivermectin regularly and that is the brand. I actually
That is the
asked
kind
him,
that they're
what should
taking?
I send him? And that's what he sent me. He's been using that,
Yeah.
ingesting that into his body.
But if you use the horse paste, you're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna shit your intestines out.
Yeah,
Is it
thanks,
giving-
Lee.
is it
Saved my
giving
life,
carrot
buddy.
Yeah,
and
man.
shit?
Greg, Greg, did you?
Hold on. Un momento, por favor.
Okay.
Oh,
Where is
good.
she going?
Josh says,
So
"Hello
you went
from the
back.
mute."
It's gonna be my favorite part of the show. Tonight.
All right. So
This
Oh,
is
he
what
got the
Rick got
ivermectin.
me.
Look at it; it's got a horse
This is
on
what
it.
Rick got me.
Ivermax,
That's
Ivermax.
glorious.
He didn't even
That is
open it.
glorious.
equine,
No.
equine paste.
Well, I want to
Rick-
know what it smells like. We were hoping
Rick
you'd take
wanted
some on
to-
the pod.
No, I'm not trying to die, Rick. Thanks.
Greg, it's a suppository. You got to put it. You got to just squeeze it in your ass.
Oh.
No, don't do that
Is that
either.
what it
You
was?
just- Will you just smell it for me? Let me know what it smells like. It's supposed to be. I ordered you green apple flavor.
that wouldn't be the first green or white liquid coming out of Greg's ass, though.
Oh,
What's? Did you talk to?
Well, you guys were in the army together.
Did you talk to Bob Barker about that ivermectin at all, Greg? A character that we will all be introduced to in a couple days.
Gross.
Yucky.
No.
No.
And actually, the episode's out now, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, dude.
Then if you listen this morning, then you're introduced to Bob Barker. From...
No, it's not this morning. It was about like an
Price
hour
is Right?
ago.
Oh, an hour ago. So if your life is consumed, then you just spend all your waking moments around the Take Warning podcast. Then you'll
Yes.
know about Bob Barker.
Yes.
And
And
So
the
did you-
silly conspiracy theories that Bob Barker has.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And so Bob was not on board with the ivermectin, though, huh?
They might have been. I just don't know if it's this type of ivermectin.
Mm.
You know, because I think
Right.
it's pill form, not paste form. That's what
Yeah,
Joe Rogan
yeah.
has.
The pill form that's meant for human consumption.
Yes.
you
Yes.
probably get prescribed by a doctor,
Yes.
right?
Or
yeah,
you can buy
not the
over
one
the
you can
counter.
order on Amazon for $22.
Not a veterinary.
Right, right.
Evidently, every time I talk, Rick thinks I go. "Ee, ee, ee."
I think he was just telling you that you're fat and need to work out more.
One of our
only,
listeners,
only when I'm drunk.
Or just a jackass.
Rick, join me, huh? On my 24 size part,
24 part.
24, a size 24.
I'm
'cause
trying
what
to
we're
help
doing-
you.
What the idea is that we're gonna go 24.
Have your
sizes
pets
in-
spayed or neutered Bob Barker yet?
So we're gonna work. We're gonna work backwards on sizes. Theoretically, you're losing weight with each episode that we do. And so now, Rick, are you on board with this?
No,
Uh,
no, not at all. Albert,
sounded
our
like it.
listener, actually said ivermectin is the White Vaporub.
He's just mad because he's. I'm not gonna say it. Never mind.
What does he mean by that? Oh
I
wait,
don't know.
I don't know.
If you were Mexican, you'd get it.
In the Hispanic culture,
Uh-huh.
Vaporub cures everything.
Vaporub.
Oh, it's like Robitussin.
Art.
Yeah,
Yeah, or Windex. Or
Or
What is
tequila.
what does Nevea mean? Does that mean heaven?
yeah. It's heaven spelled backwards.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit. The H is silent. That makes sense.
Oh, Mexicans.
You know,
No, Rick,
find it,
no.
I find it funny that you guys didn't know what that was when it's only white people naming their kids Nevea.
Isn't it Nabea
White people name their
then?
kids Nevea.
I've never known a white family to ever name their kid.
Yeah,
I
I've
know
never-
several.
Never
I
known
know
that.
several.
However,
All of
I-
them white.
I wish that I knew somebody by the name of Gloria, and I wish that they made us a sandwich.
Okay.
Don't you? Huh? Huh?
Good
You guys want to know where I got this from?
Good,
Huh, Lee,
good
do you?
segue. Good segue there, Greg.
Yeah, dude. You want to know where I got this stuff?
Where'd you get it,
Wow.
Greg?
TakeWarningStore.com, where you can find awesome stickers like this. You can find awesome shirts like this, and like what me and Rick are wearing. Or you could even get stickers like this. And I don't know if you guys are nice boys and girls, maybe we'll do some type of giveaway. When Rick isn't as
Giveaway.
Jewish. Yeah. So but anyway, TakeWarningStore.com.
So describe the stickers that you're holding up.
They're stickers. So on the front of it is the emblem, and on the back of it is sticky, and then you put it on things and
All
then
right.
it sticks.
And that one's the TWP logo, and the other one he held up was
Yes.
the Gloria Make Me a Sandwich.
Gloria, make me a sandwich. And
Yeah.
if anybody knows a Gloria, if she ever comes by one of our places and gives us a sandwich, I will give her a sticker.
There's a lot of branding going on. Lee's taking sips out of his Take Warning cup. I mean, wow.
Yeah, what are you doing to support the podcast, Duper? Nothing.
Oh no,
Yeah.
he's spending hours at a time breaking down gun violence.
Yeah. I did, 3.5 hours of
God
additional
damn.
content over the
No.
past weekend.
You did
You
more than that, sir. Don't forget about you did the sports pod too. You filled in for
Oh
us.
shit! Yeah,
Me and Duper
I
did the
worked the-
sports pod.
yeah. I worked a full workday on the podcast over the weekend.
You could
Just
definitely
putting
tell
in the work.
everybody that Duper is divorced because that's all he wants to do is make podcast episodes.
You guys are
Hey
gonna
guys,
hear-
I got this plan to expand everything because I got nothing else going on. So you guys
That's
in?
all he has living in that halfway house that he's living in right now.
Yeah.
It's 3 a.m. on a Wednesday. You want to record something real quick?
I haven't been doing much. I was outside, just fucking breaking bottles and thought, hey,
Hey, it's 2:30 in the
His
morning. What are you
bunkmate's
guys up
a weirdo,
to?
so he just wants to do everything to not hang out with him.
you guys want to just talk about how subways were made?
Dude, that could be interesting. We might
Take
we might
warning,
work
the
on that.
subway edition. Here we go.
Josh, you got anything you want to add to this?
No.
No, I don't. No.
So we actually did drop 2 episodes over the weekend, right? We got the good conspiracy thing, which I haven't listened to because it literally came out an hour ago.
Yes.
Which I'm super excited about. Conspiracy theories are awesome. And
Out of
then
spite of gun violence one.
and then Duper and I are doing Rick and Dupe Solve the World, but we're gonna try and take impossible problems and figure them out in 59 minutes. We failed immediately.
Well, not immediately. It took you an hour and
It
1
took
minute to
us
fail.
2 hours to come up with a solution to the impossible problem on that episode, but we got it done. It took us twice.
You
as
didn't
long.
solve anything.
We came up with some bullet points.
You got some good
This
bullet.
could
We can send it
possibly
to
be the
Congress.
best episode ever.
We
Yeah,
need
so
the
you-
lawyers to write the litigation, but yeah, we got bullet points.
And just wait, ladies and gentlemen, when I get to moderate the abortion show where Rick and Duper get to work together to debate abortion and solve that
I'm
issue.
gonna laugh.
Oh no.
I'm gonna
No.
laugh if they do that show without you again. And you start bitching about- You know what? Fuck this guy, Greg. Let's just do the
They're
show
like-
without him.
Like, we're good, bro.
Oh,
We did 2 hours. We could at least do 4. We got this.
Yeah.
That's the day that Greg drives over to Duper's and does more gun violence.
Aw.
You son of a bitch! I
Jesus
told you.
Christ. Too soon, Art. Too soon.
Oh my god.
Well, I didn't say he was
David
gonna
Hogg
shoot
would
him,
be
just pistol
offended.
whip him.
Too soon, Art.
Hey, we're getting live feedback on our audio right now.
I fixed it,
According to,
I think.
listener 2, if you got it.
Yeah, but
Art,
let's make sure our listeners on Wednesday hear all about it.
Omaha.
It's great. Greg 6. I just like that he put Lee 9 and Josh 0.
Oh, is that what that meant? I didn't
Yeah.
know what that meant.
Yeah.
Omaha.
You're-
I got an Omaha
You're
already.
a 10
too.
in my book. You're a 10 in my book.
All right, so
Art, you earned the first Omaha tonight. Good job.
Fuck yeah.
I do want to talk about a news story today. There was
Whoa.
a kid about 9 months ago. And if you guys Google search Venice hit and run, it will show this car, a Prius, a black Prius. It actually swerves towards this woman walking her baby down this one-way street, and he fucking runs them over, and then tries to escape. Right? Intentionally hits this girl and her baby, and then drives off. And it's all caught on camera. There's a good Samaritan who saw this happening coming down the road in a pickup truck, and he rams the car, so then the car gets stopped, so then this guy can't get away, and then to catch him, he was just sentenced, right? So, this is your DA.
Well, hold
Gaston.
on. Lee,
16
are you able
years
to play
old,
the
right?
video?
You won't hear anything, so it's pointless.
Oh,
No,
it's
you
okay.
don't
No,
need
you can play it. You don't
Oh,
need the
okay.
audio.
Need to see it.
Clearly,
can
Lee
see,
didn't.
for
Lee
our-
didn't watch the video. Clearly,
Our live.
I did
listeners
watch the
live.
video. I've seen all about this.
So that's a lady and her child in a stroller getting rammed by a little Toyota.
But we're gonna have
Right.
to sit through the ad
What 16-year-old has a
now.
brand new car.
yeah. I guess it
That one.
first.
It's terrible watching
Yeah.
somebody actually do this and just the disregard that they would have for another human being.
And that had a spoiler alert at the bottom. If you guys already read it, we know what the twist is.
Oh no! You don't know the twist yet.
No, we do because we just saw it.
Well,
It was-
not completely.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So tell us what. Oh,
So
you got the video
here-
going now. Here comes the Toyota. And
Rick, are
it's
you
like
on
he
a delay?
aims for it.
And this
Yeah,
woman,
yeah, Rick's.
I am.
this
Oh, I'm
woman
watching
is,
it on the live. My bad.
this woman. I mean, you can see like the first thing she does is address her child too. So just imagine that scenario. This woman just got hit by a car, and the first thing she thinks about is my child okay? I mean, it's heartbreaking to see something like this. But so this guy has a history. He's a 16-year-old kid. I've seen two reports. One report that says he was renting the car, another report that says he stole the car. But ultimately, he gets this car. And Gascon, he sentenced him to 5 to 7 months in a juvenile detention facility. That's all he got for trying to kill a woman and her baby walking down the street. What makes it even worse, and here's the part that connects us all to this story, is that in 2019, he spiked a girl's drink while attending Palmdale High School.
Oh, fuck.
Or at Palmdale High. Yep. So I'm assuming he's from Palmdale. So that's the local connection to all of us.
Wait, and how old is he right now? He's 17?
Yeah, I think when this happened, he was 16, so it's safe to assume 9 months later he might be 17 or near 17.
And 3 years ago he spiked someone's drink, so he was 13 years old trying to rape somebody, or what? I'm confused.
Think about that. No, well, what's really bad is I don't think that it was like a date rape drug either. He put something in this girl's drink, and she actually had to go to the hospital. So
Like
this
almost
kid
like
is just a little
poisoning?
nasty fuck.
He's a real winner coming out of Pompton.
Good to know that Palmdale High is still doing real well.
Yeah.
Bringing out quality product.
What's even worse is your guys'
I mean, look at us.
Yeah.
We made it very far in life.
Gascon only gives him 5 to 7 months in a juvenile detention center, even with the history and the fact that he intentionally tried to run over a woman and her fucking baby. I mean, how much lower?
It wasn't
can
even
you go?
jail. You saw that, right? It's just a teen camp.
Yeah. It's
Well, that's because
center,
because Gascon has openly come out and said that he doesn't want youth to go into the system anymore. He wants to try and rehabilitate them.
So, what lesson is this kid learning from this?
Stay young forever.
Drive faster.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Fuck your kids.
Is that something bigger than a Prius?
That's the thing, is they're not going to learn a lesson behind any of this stuff,
There
because
is no lesson.
there is no punishment for the crimes that you commit anymore, especially out here in LA County.
And Rick's joke there was kind of dark, but that might honestly be the lesson that he took from this.
Could be.
I could have killed that woman and that baby, and maybe I would have got a year at this fucking summer camp that I got to go to now.
Yeah.
Do you really think that guy at 16 years old was thinking anything about what Gascon may or may not be giving him?
I
would
think
probably
that
say no.
This dude
I
has
don't know
tried.
now,
He has
you know?
tried to kill 3 fucking people at this point. He's 17 years old. I think he thinks he's invincible. He will do this again.
Yeah, but he's not thinking about Gascon. He's fucking just thinking
Oh, he
that
fucking sure is now.
he's lucky. Oh, I doubt it.
He's gonna be like that gangbanger, and he's gonna get Gascon tattooed on his forehead after this. Watch.
I don't know if he's smart enough to identify the person who is responsible for his freedom and for him to be able to just do whatever evil shit that he wants to do. But he is looking at society as a whole, and he's saying that I don't suffer consequences for my actions. There are no consequences for whatever I do.
Mm.
I really fucking hate Gascon, man.
Yeah.
Was this kid vaccinated though?
Yes.
He went to Palmdale High School, not smart.
Says Josh.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm gonna narrate when you speak. It's fun, I got an idea. Josh, say something else.
He's writing. He's currently writing.
He's writing.
We're all waiting.
So, Albert's asking, what punishment is there for unbalanced volume levels?
He doesn't need to listen.
What is there for?
Hi.
Josh ejaculated. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, he didn't even get vehicular manslaughter. He didn't get anything, right?
Nothing.
Hey Lee, Josh is trying to talk.
Albert, does it matter?
Dust.
Dust matter?
Albert does matter.
You forgot the N.
There it is.
And you throw a little dude trying to hump the O now. It's weird.
It's fitting. It's Albert. So
Okay, so for those listening on the live, I'm sorry that my audio has been crazy. It keeps adjusting itself. I don't know what's happening.
that's weird.
Yeah, it's gone. I turn it down, and then it automatically jumps back up.
I'm literally getting text messages now. I'm seeing during the live saying, "Hey, Lee's quite a bit louder than everybody else."
Tell Albert to just leave you the fuck alone. We're recording.
That wasn't Albert.
I don't care.
That
Tell
was
him. Tell him.
I was a co-host on another pod.
Tell him.
How
about
can you
that?
tell Albert when you're already telling him live?
Well, we know it wasn't Ryan because Ryan.
This is
doesn't listen to shit.
engaging. So,
All right. Oh, do you guys want to play a game real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
Alright.
games.
So just make up a theme song, guys. Go.
Make up a
It's
theme
about fake
song.
news. Fake news.
Hey,
Josh
news
ejaculated.
brought to you by Duper.
Yeah.
Duper. A duper,
Lee, back up your
duper.
mic like 2 inches.
Back up your fucking mic 2 inches.
He said it louder with more authority.
Wow, I know, right?
All right, so I'm gonna read some headlines from the news, and you guys have to determine which ones are real and which ones are fake.
Strip club.
Ooh.
Woman who is
Steakhouse.
sexually attracted to planes wants to marry a toy Boeing.
Oh, that's real.
A toy. Boing.
You guys are saying it's real. We got two real.
No, I'm gonna say
It's-
that
she's
is
probably from like England.
I mean,
go
if
with
it
that.
was an
Yeah, you know what,
Airbus,
yeah.
it'd be believable. But with Boeing,
Josh gave you a thumbs up.
So Art and Josh say yes, it's real. Rick and Greg say no. What do you got, Lee?
I'm just waiting to see the result before I put myself out there.
So
He's never wrong.
it's fucking amazing. Art nailed this one. The woman is from the UK and she's sexually attracted to planes and she wants to
What'd I
marry a
win?
toy Boeing.
has she been on the Mile High Club? Or it's not a mile high in UK. It's like kilometers.
Is she hot?
I
Josh
don't
inquired.
remember what she looked like. I did see a picture of her, but then her craziness kind of throw me away. Woman's boyfriend uses fun timers to ensure that something fun he does doesn't go on for too long, sparking debate.
what?
Wait,
I
what?
don't even. Can you say that again?
Sounds like somebody's ex-wife I know. Wait for it.
Woman's boyfriend uses fun timers to ensure that something fun he
Too
doesn't
soon?
that
Josh
something
asked.
fun he doesn't go on for too long.
Real.
No,
I still don't
I don't even
understand.
understand the statement.
So
That's-
say,
that's
they're
from the
saying that
end.
he's having too much fun. It's now time. Your fun time's over.
Oh,
So
a
to
fun,
no,
like
no,
a
no, a
timer.
woman-
She uses
a
a
woman-
timer.
Yes, that's what
Okay,
this
because
is
it
saying.
sounded like you said fun timer, and I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
it's
is
a fun
timer?
timer. Yeah, they're using a timer to determine
There
how
we
much
go.
Regular
time
fun.
their boyfriend.
So she's timing your fun.
Dude, I'm just reading the fucking headline how it was written. Okay, that's my
It's
job.
a dumb headline.
Is that English?
That's, I'm gonna go with false.
Josh doesn't
Alright.
even understand what the fuck you're saying.
All right,
he's
so
mute.
Art, what do you got? Or
Thumbs
Art
down,
said
false,
fake.
false.
Josh, what do you got?
That's fake news.
Real,
says it's
real,
real? Rick, Greg,
Oh, that's
I'm-
that's real. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
because
say
there are
real
there are
because-
definitely women like that.
Because you were like, I'm just reading the article.
no, I'm just reading headlines here.
Yeah, the headline off the article that was written
Yeah.
about it.
So, according to the Daily Dot, this is a true story.
See?
Shit.
No shit.
Told you. You gave it away. You're
Right,
losing your
I didn't
edge,
give it away.
Duper.
I didn't give it away.
You gave it away with your
Dude,
fun
you totally
timer.
give it away. Greg
Right.
nailed you on that too.
I'll give you a fun timer.
We should have one of those on this podcast. Like when
Hey,
we start having too many jokes. If we
Put
go
a
on,
timer
like,
up.
yeah, put a timer out. Oh, we gotta get serious again. All right. Planned Parenthood backs new "Don't Say Baby" bill.
That's false.
Fake.
That's false.
Like that doesn't even
That's
sound
fake.
real.
That's fake.
No. Okay.
You
All right.
can't say baby.
Elon Musk tells employees to return to
True.
office or
Yep,
Yep,
pretend
it's true.
I already know it.
No,
I already know
no.
it.
Yeah, that's a straight up Elon one.
Oh, yeah. This is Elon.
Wait, are you recording this right now?
This is Elon Musk.
He did say to pretend to work somewhere else.
True.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we know it's true.
35-year-old unsure why he was underwhelmed by winning first place in the Magic the Gathering tournament.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That just sounds like
true.
Greg's weekend. So yeah, true.
Was it Albert?
Excuse me, sir. I only play Pokemon. I don't play Magic the Gathering.
Josh, what do we got? Yay or
Arthur
nay?
is very busy watching Battlestar Galactica. So he has
I don't know. I don't know.
Can we go?
Dungeons and Dragons is my game too.
This one is false, according to the Onion.
I
Damn it.
said that.
Damn it.
But is anything on the Onion really false?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh shit.
Yes.
this whole time.
I've been only reading The Onion and Babylon Bee for years.
So Bob Barker gets all of his news from the Babylon Bee, and apparently you get all your news from the Onion. This is the reason why you guys are never gonna make any progress.
I've been so misinformed this entire time.
Holy shit!
Another product.
Add that to the conspiracy theory list.
I was kicked off a plane over my 22-pound boobs and felt dehumanized.
Yes.
That's true.
Is that any one of us, by the way?
That might have been Art earlier today.
Well, Art has it, but it's drugs that are in his boobs. So
I am a
true.
millennial.
True. That was true. Yeah. New York
That's
Post
true,
story.
and I'm gonna call the country of origin.
What?
You're gonna call the country of origin Brazil.
Yeah, Canada.
Was that a Canadian? Are you Google searching this shit?
sertraline.
Sertraline?
Seriously?
Italy creates a new social credit app to reward citizens for virtuous
Why did
behavior.
we give him 8 hours of recording time?
What was your question, Duper?
Italy creates a new social credit app to reward citizens for virtuous behavior.
It sounds true.
It sounds true.
It's
I'm
true.
gonna go
It's true.
false.
I'm gonna go false.
It's true.
Okay.
True.
Huh.
I told you it's false.
Ooh, I have one
Onion
for your
told me
game.
So
Yes.
California court classifies bees as fish under endangered species law.
True.
Oh, that's true.
That sounds true.
Super true. It's
That
super
sounds true. Because I mean, when you break it down, California can't even tell us what a biological woman is today.
Right,
So
right,
why
right.
would they know the
How do
difference
you
between
open
a
the
bee and
door
a
for
fish?
him to say things like that?
Yeah,
I mean,
a California
biology-
appeals court classified bees as fish
Yeah,
under an
makes-
endangered species law.
Makes sense.
When was it? A couple days ago, actually.
Why would? What's funny is we all heard that and we're all like, "Oh no, that's true," because fucking California, they don't know.
Well, it was
they
all
don't
over
know
the
about
news
it.
like 2 days ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't hear it.
Yeah.
if it's not California, it's Florida.
We'll do one more. FEMA director claims spending life preparing for national disasters is no way to live.
True.
Yeah, I'm gonna say true.
What?
It's false. It's false.
FEMA
Coming
director
from FEMA,
claims
that's true.
spending life preparing for national disasters is no way to live.
Oh, true.
No, false.
Oh,
I got it right. Fuck yeah.
That's it. All right, that's all right. I mean, I have 3 more pages, but I mean,
we could keep doing fun things like that here. I mean, oh, okay. I got one for you.
okay.
Florida man and woman seriously injured.
I'm just
after
gonna say
crashing during
true.
sex act.
I don't even want to hear it.
It doesn't even matter at the end.
Yeah.
So Rick, what were
Anything coming out of
wait,
Florida, if it's ridiculous, it's true.
Yeah.
Rick, say
Florida
it
man
again.
receiving Florida man and woman seriously injured after crashing during sex act.
Oh, that's
definitely
true.
Were they having fun time?
It's true. It's
Yes,
true.
The Florida man was receiving intimate services from his passenger, lost focus of the road, and crashed head-on into a FedEx truck.
Dang.
Yeah,
See what happens when you have too much fun time?
I guess
Talk
she
about next day
delivered, huh?
not the payoff he was expecting. Florida man found dead in gator-ridden lake after searching for frisbee. That's 5 days ago.
Also
Dude,
true.
fucking Florida.
Dude, for real, we need like an entire Florida man segment.
Can you
my
explain fun time?
Yeah, Josh. I know you're married now, so
It's when
It's one of those mystical BJs.
Yeah, I honestly didn't read any of these articles. I was just looking for headlines that might trick you guys, and then I had to put this Elon Musk one in there because I was just too. I felt like that was a control right to Rick, right? So any support that Rick might have once had for him, now that he
For
knows
who?
that Elon Musk is against pretending to work at home, Rick's not gonna be in alignment with him anymore.
Oh, you know, he's
Elon?
getting a lot of backlash right now too because he's cutting 10% of his workforce too.
It was
Yeah.
just the salary employees though. He's switching to hourly, which that's kind of a business move. It's kind of a cheap business move, but that's okay.
Yeah,
I
but people
mean,
are coming out going, "Oh man, he's getting a $23 billion bonus and he's
It's
cutting
his
10%
fucking
of his
business.
workforce and blah 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 blah." And it's like, who the
Yeah.
fuck cares? I mean, he still pays more in taxes than you ever will.
This
yeah,
is,
inflation.
I can't. I honestly cannot blindly support that move. I don't know enough details about it. I'm never for firing large swaths of your employee base, so
Stupid unions.
I can't jump on board with that one. But
I got okay. Can I give you one more headline from the Florida man?
All right.
you can't stop laughing.
Florida man on drugs kills imaginary friend and turns himself in.
What?
Some good bath salts.
Oh, Florida. Like,
So, but I want to know if was he charged with anything?
Well, okay, I'm gonna look. I gotta look because that's fucking stupid.
I mean, because I feel like if he was in California, he might. Because like they're the opposite. Like, is that what Gascon's going for? Is like opposite laws?
well, he killed an imaginary friend, so Gascon would easily give him 20 years to life.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, how did the what was
Or life
the
in an
imaginary
asylum,
friend
right, dude?
identifying as? That's really what it comes down to. Is this a hate crime?
And
Is this a hate crime?
and Greg, we also have to ask if they were
What? Bob Barker?
vaccinated.
Oh, vaccinated.
Come on, man.
Ivermectin.
Sorry, I'm watching the hockey game.
Oh man, yeah, Florida man's great. I just Florida man arrested after floating away on stolen jet ski. He couldn't start, so he got on the jet ski and just started floating away because he couldn't get it to start.
All
Man,
right.
some bitch fuck doing stuff on gas prices. I couldn't fuck some bitch.
right. I'm not spending $5 to start this bitch up. I'll just paddle.
Oh, this is yeah. There's just so many things. Florida man is crazy.
Yeah. Florida man is
The
crazy.
Florida man stories were very popular for a few years there, and then they kind of died off.
I know. I don't know why because they're still happening. Do you think Florida just doesn't know that nobody talks about Florida man anymore, so they just keep doing this shit?
No, it's because
No.
their governor's insane and he creates enough stories for them as is.
No, actually, I think it's exactly the opposite. DeSantis went in there and educated all them idiots.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
It's working out.
Yeah,
He's
it
doing a
is.
great job. Bang
mean,
up.
Well, that's our next president, so get used to it.
Oh. Oh.
Get used to it.
Making his predictions now.
Oh yeah.
So-
And Greg, we were
Oh.
talking
We
during
were?
the sports podcast. I'm pretty. I accurately predicted the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and I don't watch that. I predicted the Warriors would be in the finals this year. Don't watch that, dude.
Ahem, you only got half that prediction right. By the
Yeah,
way.
I know. I missed the Nets one, but I think that James Harden was on the Nets when I made that prediction. So
Josh
I'll
says,
take that as my
Yep,
out.
yep.
But that's my prediction for the election.
I like this version of Josh.
This is a good version of Josh.
now Josh says, fuck you, Lee. In a nice,
Did he really?
deep Jewish tone.
I like this.
Josh is the pen to my teller.
For the first time in Josh's life, his voice is actually matching his look. Like, he's got this fat ass beard, all these tattoos all over his body. But then when he usually talks, he's like, "Hey guys, how are you? I really miss you."
Josh gently shakes his hair out and smiles deeply.
Are you saying Josh sounds like Mickey Mouse?
No.
I was.
Hi, everybody.
Avalanche just tied it. Oh,
Man.
sorry.
That's
Now I
amazing.
sound like Rick when the Dodgers are in the playoffs.
What do you guys want to talk about?
True.
I actually want to give a shout out to some of our listeners and say Happy Pride Month.
Yes.
We should definitely say Happy
100%.
Pride Month to
And
them.
I am so prideful to be
Um,
on this podcast with you guys. You have no idea.
Yeah. And while we talk about that, I want to know if you guys approve of the child-friendly drag show that took place in Dallas.
Wow, that's a hell of a
child-friendly
transition.
drag show.
So-
Wow,
what
I know.
makes it child friendly?
So-
They had children there, and the drag queens were out there dancing and everything, and the children were tipping them. And mind you, this is at a bar that was supposed to be for 21 and over, but it had a
It was on Disney
child-friendly
Junior.
drag night. Do you
Was it
think?
on Disney Junior?
Do you think it's good to be
I think
exposing kids to that kind of stuff?
Well,
Ye-
What? To,
Don't all answer at once.
to
I
Well,
would
you-
assume
okay,
it's the
Lee.
parents.
What?
Lee, you got to give us a minute because every time you talk, it's like, "Ah!" and then you stop, and then like my eardrums kind of go back to normal. So you got to give
Turn-
me a second.
Turn down your headset, bro.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Turn down your mic face.
How many of your kids were there, Lee?
How many of your kids were there, Lee?
His
Oh, he
kids
said-
were in the show.
Yeah, my kids made the show.
There was also an offer during that drag show for 5 kids to perform on stage, either by themselves or with their favorite queen.
Yeah, it did. It did allow kids to dance with performers on stage.
There was also money being tipped from the children into these drag queens as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not you said into like they were fucking.
They were inserting the money.
They were giving them dollars. I'm actually looking at the video right now. It's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
No, they're actually dressed like humans. So it's not
Like humans.
Like,
you
how-
know what I
what?
mean? Like they're just dressed like women. Like they aren't.
I'm
dressed
glad that they're humans.
above over
they're-
the top.
they're
They don't
fully
look
clothed,
over the top. How about that?
Provocative or anything like that.
No, it doesn't look provocative. This woman's wearing a summer dress.
I would have taken my kids.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with it.
Let's go
So
on
here's,
with.
here's the issue. Here's the issue.
how
So
about-
what do you
how
guys
about this
take your
video
kids? So if you had cheerleaders
So
dancing sexually and provocatively, would you have them? Would you have your children tip the cheerleaders? I mean, they're not naked like a stripper.
Are you sure
right?
that they were
But-
dancing provocatively? They weren't just out there.
Oh, they
dancing?
were. They were.
you can see the
Because
video
in
right
the
now.
background,
She's dancing
behind-
around, and yeah, you're going to talk about the sign behind them, right? It's
On
not
the
going to
sign
lick
behind
itself.
them, it's not going to lick themselves. What the fuck does that mean, Rick?
Wait,
Oh,
where
they
do
were
you see
talking
that?
about lollipops, obviously, right? I mean, because it's for kids.
Where do you see the not gonna lick itself thing? I
Oh,
can't
it's there.
see Lee's thing. His screen's tiny.
You're
I'm
sure?
just watching.
That's
You're
what she
tiny.
said.
It's not going to
Big enough to make 17 kids, though.
Oh, yeah. I mean, have you ever been to a drag show? First of all, is
Yeah,
anybody
Rick,
here?
you made us all go to one for your
That was a
bachelor
king.
party.
That was a drag king show. So have you ever been to a drag queen show?
Oh,
I've
I
been to a
would
drag
just
queen
assume it's
show.
the same. I get confused with genders at this point.
Okay, well, a drag queen show is much different from that drag king show that you had to
How so?
Uh,
Because as
Are
I
you trying to shit?
I was trying to think. It's hard.
so how is this appropriate for children, Rick? So is it? I'll counter this question. Is it appropriate if I take my daughter to a strip club?
So you don't find it appropriate. That's all you're just trying to say, right?
Well, I'm not the one that brought it up.
No,
Well, I'm
I
just
did.
asking. So you
You
don't
already-
think it's appropriate, right?
But
I don't.
Duper,
Okay,
Duper,
so then don't take your kids and
Hold
shut the
on.
fuck up.
hold on.
Done.
Duper, what if you had nobody to watch your kid and you were the stripper, right? And then you bring your kid just to stay in the back while you strip. Is it okay then?
No,
Because
mean, then
technically
you
you
were
brought
take
your
your kid.
kid to the strip club, but they have free daycare. So what are you gonna do?
the strip club has free daycare.
I'm assuming. I don't know how those
It
things work.
sounds like I picked the right strip club to dance at. Huh?
Yeah.
Quit making Duper go full Don Vito.
Yo!
Oh,
So you guys are in,
Yo!
you guys are in favor of children going and putting dollar bills into people as they dance, or into people's
people. You keep
clothing.
acting like they're raping each other there.
but no, it's.
Come here with this dollar, little man.
I would say no, obviously. So there you go.
It's inappropriate.
I would say to
Yes.
each their own. You know, if
Exactly.
you feel that it's not appropriate, then don't take your kids. I probably would have taken my kids.
Yeah, I don't mind. Sam wanted to go. I'd take her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you know,
that's
I mean,
me,
I
and I'm not telling
I've-
you you have
I-
to go with me. You can stay home and do whatever the fuck you want with your kid. Take him to Bible.
Craig, what
Like,
is that?
I'm sure
What
there's
is
a Bible study around the corner. that you guys
Avalanche
can
just
learn
scored,
about
baby.
Jesus and
5-4.
that we're only 2,000 years old. There's
Josh
something
knows.
you can do that you'll like, and that's fine. But you know, everybody does their own thing. Who fucking cares? Like, why
Yeah.
is this an issue for you? But you just don't want anybody to do it, right? Because that's kind of how it sounds like. It sounds more like you don't want
So
anybody.
wait,
to
hold on,
participate.
hold on,
No.
hold on.
It's-
Was
it's-
this in California or Florida?
Dallas.
This was
It was in Texas,
Oh, Austin.
Dallas.
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 Oh
Motherfucker, were
Have you
paying
not?
attention?
Yeah. Have you listened at all?
no, I've been
Literally, I
watching
said
the
Dallas.
hockey game.
Where?
Are you sure you want to be on this show? You just don't want to just watch the hockey game?
Holy
I
shit!
want. I would rather yes.
Well,
but
then
I'm here.
Watch the game.
You know, I bring the sex appeal, so somebody has a beer.
No, that's me, motherfucker.
So are we at that stage in society where we can just open strip clubs and
I think
bikini
you're
bars
going a
up
little
the
too
chil-
extreme
Wha-
with this.
a
Yeah, you
bikini
are.
bar.
You are getting
How about-
very.
What about a
You're-
bikini
you're
bar?
You're getting
a
very
little
extreme
religious
with this-
fanatic
with
on
this
me here?
example.
That's what
I'm-
kind of sounds like.
I've not brought up religion. You're the only one that's brought up religion.
Yeah, because
won't-
it
I
sounds
won't-
very much like every
I
religious
won't-
fanatic I know.
I
Like,
won't
that's what
make
I'm
a
telling you.
religious
I'm
argument
not saying
against
that
you,
you're
Rick.
saying it from a religious standpoint. I'm telling you that's what you sound like. Because right now you are being very closed-minded and not allowing people to just exist how they want to exist.
I think the
Just don't
only
go there.
reason why this is acceptable on your
Mhm.
end is because it is drag queens, and that's it. Because they
Mhm.
get a free pass to do whatever they want in today's society, because their victimhood is higher than anybody else's within society. They are the pinnacle of victimhood, and when you get that pinnacle of victimhood within our culture, you can do anything you want, and you will have idiots like Rick who will support your ass, and he will actually advocate for you,
Wow.
and Art will fucking take his little children so then they can touch him all over, right? So
You know what I mean?
Who said that was happening?
Okay, so a listener
Who said
actually,
that was happening?
a listener came
what?
in.
I'd rather take my kid and expose them to other
Omaha.
Then take them to a Bible camp and have them create an
Right.
imaginary
What's offensive
friend
to
to
you
tell
is
them
offensive.
fucking-
So-
not offensive to others.
So-
I think
Okay, hold on. All three of you, shut
where
it
this
down
is
for a
going.
second.
You guys keep going.
A listener came in and said, "How does a strip club compare to a watered-down version of a drag show?" Dupe went to the complete
doesn't.
opposite side of the spectrum.
It fucking doesn't.
It doesn't.
does.
100%.
No, it
does not.
doesn't.
Avalanche are leading.
I personally want to take my daughter to a Hooters.
Okay,
Right.
so that's the
Am-
end of it.
am-
Why
am
are you
I-
talking about it?
Well, that's
Am
you.
I-
I've taken my kids to Hooters.
You fucking heathen.
I bet you had a hoot of a time, huh?
Very
For the
recently.
wings, though.
They've all for the wings. But you know what? Also for the tits.
Would you take your daughter to a nightclub?
I don't have a
it's
daughter,
fucking
but
funny.
what kind of nightclub?
Would you take your son to a nightclub? Just a nightclub, any general
Well,
nightclub.
I mean, I don't go to nightclubs. I wouldn't take my. I wouldn't. Here's the thing. I wouldn't take my kids anywhere that I wouldn't go.
But you would take them everywhere you would go.
Of course.
So
If
you
I
wouldn't
feel-
go to church.
If I no hell no. Fuck
Take
that.
me to church.
What if your kids wanna go to church?
They trust me, they wouldn't go to church.
Hey,
Look,
Josh,
if they wanted to learn that on their own,
That was Josh
By
singing,
all
by the way.
means.
I got the tickets,
go
Josh.
go
I
do
got the
it.
tickets.
But they're
So-
not going to get that from me.
So what about the 5 kids dancing?
What about them?
What about them?
We're approving that.
Their parents
We
are
don't-
okay with it. I'm not the fucking
Here's
parent.
the thing, Duper. We don't have to approve shit or disapprove.
Uh,
This
And
is
I
up
agree
to-
with you.
this-
I
this-
agree
this
with
is
you
up
on a
to the
fundamental
discretion
level.
of those kids' parents. If those kids' parents thought it was okay for them to go up there and dance with these people,
This game's
fine by
insane.
fucking me.
I agree with you on a fundamental level, right? Because I'm not
It is
in
not up to
favor
me to
of
judge.
government.
I thought-
It is up to you to judge.
Well,
That,
it's up
we're,
to me
that's
to
that's
judge-
all right. That's all
it's-
right,
it-
right?
well,
We can
well,
pass
it's
judgment.
it's up to me to judge what my kids are going to be what my kids are going to be doing. It's not up to me to judge what other parents are doing with their kids.
I will
may not-
agree that it's not
I
up
may-
to you
I
to
may not
govern
approve of it.
necessarily what
I
people
may
do
not
with their
approve of
kids,
it, but I'm not going to
up
judge
to an extent, right?
that's on
Because
them.
there's an extent, and there's always lines that we
I'm
shouldn't
just not going
cross.
to push my values on other people, and I would expect that they don't do that
Well,
to me.
so we're talking about values, right? So where do values begin and end, right? So we're talking about parents. If it's their parent, then they can do anything they want, right? And I'm gonna go to an extreme, and that's what you guys are all gonna say is, oh, it's fucking extreme, right?
So
But
you know you're going to an extreme before you go
it's
to the
all
extreme.
it's all slippery slopes, right? So
Okay.
we're
give
saying
you
with
slippery
parents, they should be able to do whatever they want, right? They
Mhm.
parents, it's their kids, they can raise them however they fucking want. But pedophilia,
Within
we
the
all agree-
legality
w-
of,
can we all agree that that's wrong?
society?
Can we all agree that that's wrong?
Of course,
Why?
because they are underage. and you're
Okay,
having sex
so
with
how is that
underage
different
children.
from this? Okay, why?
Because
really, no,
pedophilia, you are
Art, let me get my point.
little
Before
kids.
you,
This is not
before,
pedophilia.
but why is pedophilia wrong? What made pedophilia wrong?
Because you're taking advantage of a little kid sexually.
Right. Okay, so why is that wrong?
Why is being transsexual wrong then? Because that's what it kind of sounds like you're
Because
saying.
what it is society
Are you
sets
saying
norms,
this is
right?
a gateway to pedophilia?
Society sets
So
norms.
you think that being transsexual or a crossdresser or being anything other than a straight person is going to lead to pedophilia? Is that what you're trying
No,
to get at?
that's not what I'm saying. That's a misinterpretation of what I'm saying. So
Then-
what I am saying is that society does set some standards for children and how parents should treat their children. That is, we can all agree with that, right? Because a moment ago, you guys were saying it's the parents, they can do whatever they want, right? But there are standards within society that we need to set, right?
Well, there are standards, but there's also legal things that they can and can't do. You can't just
Okay,
go around
so-
and fuck your
so-
kid.
Was this putting any child at harm?
How do you
Was it
not
putting
know?
them at risk of being hurt?
How do you not know that?
I don't know. When they have to go to a gay correction
So
camp for some Christian school, does that put them at harm? Because that's the same thing, right?
let me pose this question to you, right? Because we're talking, because when you think pedophilia, you think penetration, right? So what if you just have a child suck your dick, right? It's fucking disgusting. It's fucking wrong, right?
That's the-
but
that's
but
the
but
What
but
the
is-
fuck?
But
Josh is like, wow.
Hi, Greg.
on a fundamental level, did you harm that child? No, right?
Yes.
Emotionally, you did, right? You destroyed them emotionally, and it's wrong. right? But did
I
you
don't know.
physically harm the child?
Okay, but also, do you think these parents made these children go up there and do it?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes, there's actually there was a report from that bar that says there was a kid sitting there at the bar with his mom. He's playing his PSP or whatever the fuck he's playing, some video game system. He's on his
PSP's
phone.
like 12 years old.
I don't fucking know what the new video game systems
We're
are.
gonna let you know.
He's playing a video game,
Probably
right?
a Switch.
He's playing
Probably
a video
Switch.
game. And the mom tells the bartender, she's like, he's having a great time. Aren't you, Junior? And he's like, I really don't want to be here. And then she says, he's gay. And he's like, Mom, I'm not fucking gay. She's like, he is gay. So within this bar with these drag queens, you actually have a story of a mom pushing her child to be gay so then she can fit into this victim group. So then she can get the cool points.
Kind of like you have to push someone to be Christian. Again, I'm gonna
Dude,
keep going
and
back
it's
to that.
indoctrination, right?
So, yeah.
But you're making this into a religious thing, and I'm not, Rick. I'm making it into a fundamental
No,
right and
the
wrong
reason why
thing,
I'm
right?
using that is
And
because
you
it's the
asked, and you guys
hypocrisy
asked me
of
if
your
there was a
fucking
kid.
values right
You asked
now.
me if there was a kid that
It's
was
a
being harmed,
direct
and I gave you an
parallel.
example. I gave you
No,
an
I'm
example.
just giving you the direct parallel of your hypocrisy between religion and fucking apparently some kind of homophobic shit that you don't like your kids around people being gay, and that's okay, dude.
No.
Don't
That's not what I'm
don't
saying,
bring your
Rick.
kids around, but don't
That's not
fucking
what I'm
judge other
saying.
people.
That's not
if
what
those
I'm
kids
saying.
weren't put at harm, who
Dude, is
fucking
this what I
cares? That's
missed
all
on
it
your
is.
guys' gun show?
No, it was
No.
actually a good talk.
Oh,
Was it a good talk?
like,
Yeah, it was
holy
actually
shit!
Or was
You
it
guys
ju-
are
or was
going
it
at
just you two arguing the entire time?
No, we
So-
didn't argue.
no,
we
no,
didn't
we
argue
actually
much.
talked.
We just
The difference is you didn't have people dancing sexually. You didn't have a sign up in the back that asks about licking shit, right? You didn't have
They
parents.
could lick this though, right?
You didn't have parents telling
How many
their
clicks
kids
does it take?
that they're gay, and then the kid denying that, right?
I think.
So,
I think.
there-
I think
there
what
is
you're shouting
mental-
out
there-
is an
there's-
exception.
There are mental
uh,
issues here, right? And there are lines that are being crossed within this, and that's if you have gay friends, dude. I would not have and I don't have a single reservation. I've actually done it, having my children
Yeah, our
around the
listeners
gay
keep
friends.
yelling Omaha here.
I don't mind. I don't mind
So
my
why don't we
children
change the subject? Because it is
being
just
around-
irritating, and you're going
I
in loops. So
don't understand. I don't mind my children being
What
around
you're
gay
saying is
people.
homosexuality and transsexuals have.
yeah, it's bad to be
Mental
transsexual. I
illness.
get it. Now let's
I'm
move
not.
on.
No,
What else we got?
geez, that's not what I'm saying. You guys just you guys break it down to like this most simplistic form
Gay
because
bad,
you guys
Jesus
cannot
good.
understand the
All right, let's
complexities
go.
of the
No,
situation.
I got it. Yeah, right. I got you. It's bad to be gay. So
Okay,
let's
so
go on. What
so
are we
you
gonna do?
guys put out an episode.
Thankfully,
Anytime, buddy. You guys, Rick, you and Duper put out an episode. I think everyone should go listen to that about. Is it just gun violence in America?
It's gun violence. We were talking.
Yeah, just
It was
gun
funny because Duper and I were talking about this in between before this show, right? And we didn't really address it on the show, but after reflecting, he made a really good point. One of the big issues in this country, and we know that this country is kind of divided, especially with these major topics like gun violence. But when we were figuring out how we were going to go and what direction we were going to go with our conversation, Duper wanted to come at it from a perspective of looking at homicides, right? How do we reduce homicides? And my idea, my mentality was I want to have a discussion about gun violence. How do you reduce gun violence as a whole? Because to me, I feel like that gun violence was the cause, right? And and that's what causes the homicides. And to Dupe, the homicides actually, he has a flipped mentality of it, and that's kind of what the issue is.
the gun
you know.
is the result of the
Right.
of the
So,
homicide, right?
We have a
the
lot.
intention behind the
We realize that we're
homicide.
kind of like on different spectrums. That's kind of what we were getting at. But it went a little long, and it went a little long with a good conversation. We had a lot to tackle, and there was still a lot that we could have gone 4 hours as much as Greg talks shit.
What's funny about that episode is the hardest part, and I thought it would be easy. I thought we would have a premise within 2 minutes, right? I thought we would be arguing exactly the same thing, and we would be able to just move right forward just from that. But I actually tweeted about it. I said I learned an invaluable lesson during our discussion. We couldn't even agree to a basic core question to discuss at the beginning. You argued reducing gun violence. I argued reducing homicides as a whole. We were seeking different solutions because the problems we were trying to solve aren't even the same. When we can't even agree to the premise, it's very hard to attack these problems and actually find solutions because we're not even asking the same questions, right? And so we're not even on the same page. And I think this is true with a lot of these big issues within politics. Gun violence, abortion for damn sure, right? Are when we do eventually do the abortion, episode, and his wife says it's okay if you do talk as a male about abortion, and he gets that green light, then we will have that discussion one day.
Kind of what happens when you have a wife.
Wait, so we're not doing the abortion show?
Ooh, but
you do things for him.
But when we come at that, I guarantee that we're both going to see the premise very different, the starting point very different, and the way that we've formulated our thoughts and our ideas around each of these issues is based on these premises that come from each one of our political sides that we feel is the core problem. Right. And that was something I learned.
And that's kind of how we took it. Once we started, it's funny, we found our groove maybe a quarter of the way in, and we realized that's what we were going to have to do. Was Duper had his notes, I had my notes, and we tried to tackle a lot of each. And that's why I ran longer. It should have been 59 minutes, but we both had an hour's worth of stuff to talk about regarding, from different perspectives, I think. So it was good. Gave us a chance to answer it, and we did come up with a solution by the end. I had a good little list of bullet points that made sense.
Might I add that whole conversation was done without Greg.
Yes.
and Lee.
And I'll tell you, the most fun I had during that whole conversation was just addressing the issue, the premise, coming up with the question.
Yeah.
Because it's so central to if you can actually solve the problem or not, right? Because you have to find compromise and you have to find common ground before you can move forward. Right. And I think eventually we kind of found it. I can't say we 100% found it.
Well, that's compromise, though. You're never going to be 100%, right?
Yeah. Well, nothing will ever be 100%, especially with a topic like that, ever.
No, yeah. But so I'm actually going to read off what we came up with. That's why I took notes.
You took notes? Why don't you just implore people to go and listen to the episode?
Why don't? Instead of recapping it here, go watch the episode.
Shut up.
I like the note that
I'm going to
he
give you
showed.
3 of them.
He showed a note on the camera.
Listen to the show.
No, hold on. He showed a note on the camera, and it was a Post-it note.
Yeah,
that's how in depth these solutions.
You should know
work.
that we aren't deep thinkers here. So look at what Josh has been using all night to do a podcast. So yeah, so I'm going to give you 3 of these. We came to the conclusion that the voting age should be 21 for guns, but the caveat was it should be 21 to vote as well. So that was one of the solutions.
So
okay, you know what? Why are you guys talking about this shit when Shakira is now single, Duper?
I know, right? Her stupid ass boyfriend cheated on her, man.
You're welcome, everybody.
How do you cheat on Shakira?
Dude, you put your dick in a different woman.
Well, I'll do it.
How do you do that when you have Shakira?
Or a different man. I'm sure if he did it to a different man, it would have been the same
those
outcome.
Those are the most honest tips in the world.
Good segue, Greg. We can talk about the other stuff for like 10 hours, but then as soon as I bring up guns, you change the topic. Thanks.
Anyway, solution number 2. Gotcha.
Sorry.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Hard target schools. We both agreed to that. And that wasn't talking about, because you hear about hard target and they talk about arming teachers.
Schools are soft targets.
Yeah, we want to make hard targets out of the school.
Dude, have you seen this? The school, is it out of Ohio, that recently posted something where it shows they have cameras that are directly linked to the local sheriff station. Each classroom has a little control box inside that will help them lock the door, and then they can click whether that classroom is safe or not safe. And then the sheriff's department has control, like in the hallways. They can see where the suspect is, right? And there's a steam system up in the roof, and the sheriff's department can actually activate it and surround that person with steam and fog and all that stuff, while they're planning on making entry and going in.
Are they rolling that on a mass level, or just one school?
I think it's just one school that did it.
That's amazing.
Wait. Steam? What is Steam gonna do?
It's gonna disorient them.
Yeah,
it's not. They're gonna come out of the steam thinking like they're in a fucking John Woo movie. And
have you ever inhaled steam, Greg?
I have.
It burns.
And do you think an active shooter cares, especially if they want their life to end by the end of it? They don't give a fuck.
I think you're misunderstanding though, because they're filling the hallway with steam. Where are you going to go other than out?
And then what else is really smart about this is that it's not one simple action that they're doing here, right? There's multiple levels that they're doing. Right. I like what they're doing in Ohio. I hope they do it all throughout that.
Yeah,
state.
and I hope they have like fireworks and incendiaries and stuff like that, so it could be like WWE matches too.
All right.
Just saying.
Sounds good.
Third one I'm going to throw out there, and this is actually a softball.
Ohio also, Rick, to your point,
Yeah.
Ohio just passed a they either passed the law or
They passed
put
it,
forward
today,
they did
right?
pass it.
Yeah,
Did they pass
today.
it?
Mhm.
But yeah, teachers can now be armed.
Teachers can now be armed. Now that was
In
where
Ohio.
we were having a hard time agreeing, because we both agreed making the schools hard targets. But I feel like a teacher, because that makes it a hazardous job. I was looking at it from like
We
a
can't
business.
even get teachers to lock secure doors in Uvalde, Texas, and you want them
No,
to be
no,
armed.
no, you
Not
can't.
true.
See, you
That's
can't
not
say
true.
that because information is still dropping about Uvalde, and until the investigation is done, I don't think anybody
I'm
should
just
truly have an
saying.
opinion on it.
And as of right now, the
Um,
lawyer from that teacher says that she did go outside to get her cell phone. She went back inside the classroom, closed the door behind her. It just didn't lock.
Yeah, it was something
was a
along the lines
failure.
of she saw the shooter attempting to jump the fence, and she pulled the door closed, and something on the locking mechanism failed. But until the investigation is done, we really don't know. What we all do know is that the sheriff's department fucked up, or
Yeah,
the
100%.
Department of Public
Royally.
Safety. I could tell you, I could tell you that for a fact.
I definitely want to hear more about your guys' opinions, and especially yours, Lee, because Greg's kind of not wanting to talk about it that much.
Oh, I'm fucking furious.
But let's talk about it on the post show, because we're
let's talk about
right
it
about.
No,
now.
I'm talking about it now.
Oh, yes. All right, let's do
Let's
it.
talk about it right now.
Yeah.
we can
Fuck
run
yeah.
a little long.
I'm
2-hour live show.
I'm
Fuck yeah,
absolutely,
all
I'm
our shows are
absolutely,
2 hours now.
I'm absolutely furious at the
And
Department
honestly,
of Public Safety
Duper
out
and I,
there.
we were talking about how much we wanted to hear you guys'
Go for it,
opinions. That's
Lee.
why we did what we did.
Huh?
So we can be
Go for it,
quiet
Lee.
tonight.
Oh, dude. Okay, so I don't know how they're fucking trained out there, right? Obviously, it's not great because I could tell you out here, right? Whether you're by yourself or a second person arrives on scene, you instantly form a plan, grab your partner, and you go. Right? You don't wait for the on-scene. Technically, if you're the first one there, you are the on-scene commander. You're not waiting for someone higher up, right? If a sergeant rolls up and I'm there and the shooting's happening, guess what? I'm the on-scene commander. He may outrank me, but I'm in charge of the scene, and I'm saying we're going in.
My understanding to that one is each police department and each county kind of did their own thing around that, right? So a lot of counties and police departments decided first man on action. First man on scene needs to go and engage.
Right.
But then some of them are under that old pretense of standing back and waiting. Have you guys heard the testimony from the mom that went into the school yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It
The one
is.
that jumped the fence.
Yes, it is terrible. Art, do you feel comfortable enough recapping, or do you want me to do it?
No, go ahead and do it.
So this mom is arrested, and then the marshal eventually lets her go. She fucking goes into the school to get her first child. And this is what's important, because we heard conflicting reports about Uvalde and about how all the shooting basically happened in the first 4 minutes of him being in the classroom. Well, she is on scene. She gets inside the classroom. She's getting her first child out. She can hear gunshots going off. Okay. And it's not the fucking police, because they're not fucking engaging. She gets her child. Well, she pounds on the door. The teacher doesn't want to open the door. They eventually open the door. She gets her kid. She gets that first kid out of the school. She goes back in the school to get her second kid. Here's gunshots. At that time, gets that kid and then gets that kid out of the class. There were gunshots that entire fucking time.
Yeah.
It was not the first 4 fucking minutes. This was a complete failure if her reporting is true.
Well, that's the thing. That's some of the things that are starting to come out now. There was gunshots the entire time, but the on-scene commander sat there and said, "Oh, wait a minute, it's a barricaded suspect now. There's no reason to go in. We should try to find keys to go into these doors." Nah, dude.
you break that shit down.
If you
And
have
now-
units
and now-
rolling up, right, and these units that are rolling in, obviously by this point, SWAT and teams like that are going to be there. You have the breach tools necessary at this point. Make fucking entry.
Did they say
SWAT
how many
is
shots he
45
fired?
minutes away in San Antonio. You cannot fucking
Were they
wait for
45 minutes
SWAT.
away?
It took 40 minutes for them to get there. So I don't know how far exactly
Border
they
Patrol
are.
actually were the first ones on scene.
Yeah, well,
Border
First
Patrol
ones
was
on
on
scene.
scene.
and Border Patrol's the ones that actually ended up making entry and
And then
exactly.
Border Patrol
neutralizing
is
the
one
threat.
that- They're the
Why
ones
are they
that
relying
broke.
on Border
And
Patrol to handle the
from the
situation?
timeline that I looked at, it took Border Patrol a total of, I think, 45 minutes to an hour
But they are
before
the ones
they
that-
arrived and went in.
But they broke protocol. The
Yeah,
report
they went
is
against
that
the incident commander, right?
they went against the sitting
Somebody
commander
had
saying
to.
stand
Somebody
down.
had to
And they were
act.
like, no, fuck that
And-
shit.
and
It's
I
time to go act.
completely I completely support them. And this lady right now, this mom, they got her 2 kids out. She's now being threatened by that police department
Yes.
against obstruction of justice because she's doing interviews about what happened.
Yep.
And now I guess the
And you know what?
guy
I'd say
who's in
that's
charge,
fine. Obstruct me, because that's more than you've done in the past fucking 2 weeks.
right? I mean, they're going hard against this lady who rescued her 2 children because they were too pussified to go in. And I saw pictures of them. They were fucking armed to the teeth with body armor and fucking automatic rifles, and they didn't go in. This is
I don't know about
complete bullshit.
automatic, but
So the only
Well, you know what I
argument-
mean. They
No.
you know they weren't.
they
armed with just,
they were not
you know,
outgunned. I can tell you that.
Just their yes, they just didn't have their 9mm or a shotgun. They had rifles. They they could go in.
The problem is that they were afraid to be the first one in the door, and I bet they're all out there drawing straws.
Yeah, but you know what?
That
If you're
first guy
afraid to be
in-
the first one in the door, then don't fucking do that job.
Agreed.
Exactly.
The one reason you're fucking there is for instances like this where you need to preserve life. If your life is taken in that fucking course of duty, well, thank God for you and thank you for your service, and hopefully you neutralize the threat before you were put down, before any more fucking kids were put down. That's fucking bullshit.
Greg and I have
fucking
been in that
words.
situation
Serve
where we
and protect.
Greg and I have been in the position where we would put our lives on the line for our brethren, our brothers and sisters that were in the military.
And you know,
You
my
damn
my
right I
wife
would have
and
put my life on the line for a child.
Yeah,
my wife
it doesn't
and I
make any
were having a
sense.
conversation. My wife and I were having a conversation about this, about like, what should you do around schools and stuff like that. And we were talking about it, and why not retired combat veterans, because they're trained in high stress.
Did you get that
situations.
from our
No,
podcast?
No. This is way before you guys even recorded.
Yeah.
They're trained in high stress situations. They know how to handle themselves, handle weapons safely. And any one of those gentlemen who proudly served their country will gladly lay down their lives for any child.
I would
fucking child.
I would say combat veterans and then advanced police forces, right? Anybody who's actually been in a gunfight, right? Because
Definitely.
you never know.
But one thing I did get from your guys' thing is like how Rick said, thoroughly vetted. Make sure that they are, because some guys come back and they have PTSD and maybe they wouldn't do quite well. But those who are okay to be around children and like Rick said, probably maintain a clearance to be around there, and of course not make it like like they're just like an armed guard, but be almost like an air marshal where you're like incognito.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
if shit goes down, you're that guy.
yeah.
Or just stand at the front with your fucking rifle and your vest on and make it known. I'm here. You try to make entry, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Well, is that the right way to go? Or you could go to U.S. Marshal route where you put a U.S. Marshal on planes and you don't fucking know who that is.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, guys,
I
you
would rather-
are.
I would
Hold
rather go
on.
the-
Greg,
I would
stop.
rather
You're
go the-
talking about middle school and high school children, and you want adult males to blend in with these kids.
No, because there's teachers there too,
Think
Greg.
about that one, right?
No,
Like,
males
no.
You're
can
gonna blend
act
in-
like a
You're
teacher.
gonna blend in like a coach or a pretty lady or a guy or whatever. It doesn't have to
Front
be a guy.
administration desk,
But,
right? There's a janitor.
Yeah, I mean, you can blend in with other adults, but I don't agree with having somebody stand at the front door with a rifle.
Oh,
or
I was just
whatever.
saying,
Because-
it pronounces itself in a way to where someone rolls up and sees it and they go, well, I ain't fucking with that.
I
It
was-
would visually
I-
deter anybody wanting to go in there and cause shit, but do you want to give children the impression of fear from that as well?
I don't
Yes.
think I don't think it. And so I've heard this from liberals on this argument. But when it was the last time you guys ever went to New York City? You guys been to New York City?
I've never been.
Oh man, it's
So
been
New York City.
15
New York
years.
City is a liberal cesspool, right? You can not own there's so many gun regulations in New York City. You basically cannot have a gun in New York City, right? If you're a private citizen, definitely not an AR-15, right? And you can own a gun. There's just a lot of limitations. You can't really carry it. But go to Grand Central Station. They have the National Guard, the New York National Guard, standing guard within Grand Central Station with AR-15s, with their M16s on their shoulder.
Yeah, but that's public transit. It's not a school.
But it's the same concept, right? So they've disarmed the populace, but then they can maintain their weapons there.
Josh says,
But-
There's no way to keep weapons away from people that shouldn't have them.
That's
Yes.
true without
Well,
completely
this is
making all
so.
weapons go away.
So here's the thing, right? Like the active shooter thing is not going to be solved anytime soon. So what can you do in the face of it? Well, you can prepare yourself and do drills. So when these events happen, which they're increasingly happening, especially at schools. When was the last time that school did an active shooter drill? When was the last time the sheriff's department got with that
I'll
school?
ask you, are those active shooter drills actually helpful?
Yeah, they can be,
See-
especially in their
see,
response.
that's one of the issues too, though. Okay, because you run these drills in these schools, right? the shooter in Uvalde, right? It was said that he was actually a student of that same school in years prior.
High school.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have to remember that a lot of these shooters, right, attended these same schools that are doing the same drills. And it came out that I guess during this shooting, someone was walking through, or the shooter was walking through saying, "Hey, it's the police, call out if you need help." And someone was calling out to him, and he turned and fucking shot the kid. And it's because these kids have the exact same training all throughout and know exactly how to respond to these situations.
But what I'm talking about more so, yes, so there's the drills for the kids. I'm also talking about drills for the law enforcement. When was the last time that the sheriff did a drill at that high school to judge things like response times, who's going to take control of what scene? Exactly. And that's what I'm talking about. And, you know, if I could take one successful thing, if you look at the LAX shooting a couple years ago that killed 2 TSA officers, you know, the reason why that incident was so contained so quickly was because of the amount of training that LAX did, that TSA LAX did, that the airlines did. So obviously drills on all fronts help. Now, I'm not saying do it to the point where people are complacent and they just bullshit it and they just wing it, because that happens too, right? And yeah, you're not going to live in a perfect world where, you know, because we want the kids to know, right? Because for the most part, that's who you're trying to save. And if the active shooter is a part of them, then so be it, right? But if you're trained in accurately responding, and when was the last time that sheriff put his fucking police officers through an active shooting drill? Because it looks like they weren't fucking trained in active shooter. Maybe in the academy. Maybe
they weren't trained in response time either.
Exactly.
That guy was outside that school for 14 minutes.
And that's the fault of the fucking sheriff, right? So there you go.
They were trained how to put on the equipment because they looked
cool.
So one of the other issues that I have with this entire scenario, right, is baby. Nice. So places like Texas, you know, super 2A, right? And that's fine. That's great. Do your thing. I wish California was more right leaning in that aspect. You know, with some of the things that we can and cannot do out here. Now, there are some things that I think California is doing right. Right? Like, for example, if I went to go purchase a gun tomorrow, it'd be the only gun I could purchase for the next 30 days. Right? And I'm not saying that, you know, everyone needs that kind of thing, but like, let's talk about this Uvalde shooter again, right? He purchased, what, 2 AR-15s in a matter of 2.5 days or something like that?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know the time frame, but I know the first one he purchased on his 18th birthday.
It was within a week.
Was it? Okay.
Yes. And he purchased 2 of them. And it's kind of weird to me because both of them were Daniel Defense rifles, right? And both of them were over $2,000 a piece. I don't know. Right. I don't know how this 18-year-old got that kind of fucking money, but he did. Now,
well, we talked about this on the podcast where theoretically, if this is your life's purpose and this is all you
saved up for it,
so you can save up on this, right?
So, okay, he purchased 2 AR-15s, right? He also had a pistol. The pistol was stolen. Right. So no matter what, he was going to get a hold of that because even out there, you can't buy a pistol unless you're 21 years old. Okay. Now, should he have been able to buy those rifles, especially 2 within a matter of a week? No, hell no. Should they change some of these age limits to 21 for rifles and sporting and things like that? Probably. I mean, the reality is you can't even have a beer in America until you're 21. How come you can own an AR-15 at 18?
Here's my pushback on that solution, Lee, because we didn't address this one at all, and it's not even on my list of 1,000 questions.
Well, hold on, I'm not even done with this yet, though. You know why?
But the not being able to buy 2 guns within a 30-day window, what does that prevent? Does that just push it back 30 days?
No, but when you go off and try to buy 2 within a week, what'll happen is it'll flag you. Right.
Oh, okay.
If you're attempting to get more than 1 firearm in a 30-day period, it flags you and kind of brings you into suspicion for the DOJ to look at you and go, well, what are you trying to do? Because at the end of the day, before this kid went out and bought those rifles, he was active on Facebook talking about trying to do this kind of shit.
I talked about that during Rick and my podcast. 94% of all active shooters in these mass shootings will announce their presence and their intentions online. And then that other 6% will tell family and friends or record it on audio. 94%. So does the red flag law and responding to that, would that even work?
Red flag laws are issues because red flag laws have a lot of loopholes and things that end up getting like good people in trouble too. What I'm talking about is just simply change it from 18 to 21. You know, we've done it with everything else. You can't even buy a beer till you're 21. You can't smoke a cigarette in California till you're 21, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't understand why you can have an AR-15 at 18, right?
Right.
You don't need to change everything. You know, there are still 18-year-olds that go hunting with their dad. If they want to own a shotgun, by all means, own a shotgun. You can go shoot that fucking dove, right?
So with that, do you also have to bring up the voting age? Because what you're saying is that they're not mature enough to own a gun.
The Senate came out and said they're not mature enough, and then talked about how not only are they not mature enough to own a gun until they're 20 something years old, but they want them to vote by 16. I don't understand any of that shit. But
so that's
a whole other topic.
Not mature enough. So do you have to raise the voting age also to 21, and then also selective service?
Right.
See, and that's the issue, right? But because they don't want to raise selective service from 18 to 21, but I think if you raise selective service from 18 to 21. Right, you would end up with more mature people had you had to do the draft.
Okay, so you would still be in favor of raising the gun purchase age to 21 if that also raises the voting age and also the selective service.
Basically, anything that requires you to be an adult, you have to be 21 to do it.
Yeah, I mean they've already come out and said that you're not really an adult until you're in your 20s, anyways.
Right. I mean, if you're looking at that, 25, 26.
Yeah.
Right?
So I don't understand. So technically, an 18-year-old doing that kind of stuff is absolutely, I don't know, ridiculous.
Can
Rick,
you get Noah?
Can we have call-ins?
I don't have the pod track set up, but we can definitely put him on speaker up to a mic.
So the other thing too, right, is for him to be going out and posting this stuff on social media prior to even purchasing the guns and going through all that, that instantly should have been a flag from the get-go.
Right.
You know, and then he's buying 2 firearms, and then I don't know where he got the pistol. I'm sure the investigation will show that, but
hang on, Lee.
I'm doing it right now.
Check your text. I know this. Let's keep talking though.
Well, Lee is the one talking. Art, what do you have on this?
I think that the buying 2 weapons within a week, flagging would have flagged him, hence the red flag laws. Would have flagged him, and probably DOJ would have been like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And like, you know, at that point, give him a mental evaluation of why you're trying to buy 2 guns, two of these rifles.
Is that the actual process in California?
What's that?
Is that the process in California? You try to buy 2 guns within a week?
The process in California is you can't buy more than 1 in a 30-day period.
Right. So there is no mental flag.
Well, there should be.
No, there actually is, but you have to be. It's got to be a violent what the hell is it, Lee? You know this. The mental health caveat to buying a gun in California. It's something about violence, right?
I don't know about violence. I know that
domestic violence, right? And then
because that's a felony. Anything if you've been convicted of a felony, you can't own a firearm, anyways.
No problem. The mental illness, ignorant people. Is that what it says? Ignorant people?
The mental health caveat, especially in California, is that if you've ever been like 5150'd, like you've been placed on a 72-hour hold, you've had welfare checks on you, like you fall into the category of what would be a mentally incapacitated person. You cannot own a firearm, I believe, 5 or 6 years from the date that begins.
Are you guys in favor of banning the AR-15?
No.
Nope.
No. Why? Well, Rick and I already talked about this. So.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it.
They're fun to shoot.
Because why?
They're fun to shoot.
That's the reason why.
Yeah. Fuck it.
That's not gonna float.
So here's the issue with the AR-15 though: is it's such a wide platform, right? People use them to hunt. It's such a widely used platform, and here's the thing: is if you ban the AR-15, right, you're not banning the coined phrase assault rifle in America. Okay, you're banning the AR-15 platform, which is used very, very broadly and very, very widely because it's such a universal platform, right? You ban an AR-15, you're essentially making it to where I can't buy the 22 long rifle at the gun store to take my kids and make them get familiarized with firearms and teach them the proper way of shooting and handling and getting them ready for hunting and things throughout life because it's based on an AR-15 platform.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it rules out so many things, and people don't realize that an AR-15 is not an assault rifle. It's just an Armalite rifle, right? And the AR-15 platform is used by however many freaking companies now because it's such a
What qualifies as an assault rifle? Because like
a weapon that is used to assault.
So basically anything.
There's no clear definition.
Yeah,
and when you hear politicians speak about it, it's very vague. Actually, you had President Biden just last week talking about how a 9mm can blow somebody's lung out, and he was actually advocating that you don't need anything more than a 22 for self-defense.
Hey, guys, we're gonna back up for just a second here. Listener of the show, Noah, had said that he had a lot to say without being able to type.
Oh, that's fine.
Everybody say hi to Noah.
Hey, Noah.
Yo, what's up, guys?
Art, just to touch base really quick before we introduce our guest here. To assault, I mean, you have to remember that assault it's technically a verb, right? So assault is it's an action. It's not used to describe something like how people describe an assault rifle. Well, give me a definition of what an assault rifle is. It's something that's used to assault somebody, right? It can be the same thing for a handgun. It can be the same thing for a knife. It can be the same thing for your hands and feet.
It's a vague term used just because it sounds scary, right?
Right.
And it mobilizes a base against a specific type of gun.
Yeah.
But it is a very vague term that they just kind of throw out whenever they
So
want.
Noah, tell us your idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I should preface
Hi, Noah.
this first by saying hi. I should preface this first by saying I am pro-gun, and I like the fact that I can own a firearm to protect my house, if need be. I mean, hopefully that never happens, but I like the fact that I can do that. But I've heard a lot of the arguments, and they seem to be the same thing all the time, which is like what you guys are talking about, which is, the argument over, what age to raise the limit, when someone would be able to buy a gun, so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. But I think, and I've been thinking about this a lot, like what's a good way that maybe some people haven't thought of before that might be, perfect for something like this. And so take it like this. If I can't, none of us can, I mean, maybe, I don't know what you guys do for a living, but for example, I can't just hop in an 18-wheeler and just start driving it.
I know where he's going.
I have to go to, training. I have to, get certified and all that to get a Class C license to drive a truck that's on the road with other people. Right. So the thing is, like, take a rifle, for example, like I say, AR-15, there's many rifles, but take a rifle, for example, there's no reason why I would need a rifle, me personally. And so if I did want to own one, it would only make sense under certain contexts, under certain, how should I say, under certain just things, right? Like, for example, if I had a hunting license, certain conditions, that's the exact word. Yeah. So if I had a hunting license and I proved that I've, been training, whatever, and that's what I do, I go out hunting. That's the only time I could buy certain rifles is because I carry that license and I'm licensed to go hunting. You see what I'm saying? If I wanted to get some kind of assault rifle, maybe I'm a trainer or something
finish.
So we talked about this on our podcast.
And
so
it's actually part of our
listen
solution.
to it. And it is actually part of our solution. But so I will push back on you a bit here, and you can hear it a little bit more in depth during our 46-hour podcast that we recorded. But so weapons and owning a weapon isn't just about personal self-defense, right? There's additional levels, right? So if you're fighting on a fundamental 2A aspect for gun ownership, then you're fighting in protection of the First Amendment, right? And the reason why you own a gun is to protect yourself against a tyrannical government that might overstep, that might take too many steps the wrong direction. When you talk about dictators and you talk about authoritarians or fascist regimes or totalitarianism, any of these various forms of just overbearing government, they always start by disarming the populace, right? And Greg and I can both talk from experience that you can be very effective fighting back against a very aggressive military force just with firearms. It is one aspect that keeps our government in check, that keeps a balance between the people and the government that we have. So do you...
For sure. Can I just say why I didn't say that at first is because I didn't want to cut you off, but the reason why I didn't mention that's of course, like, to me, that's like an understatement. That's obviously the first thing I would say. But the reason why I didn't specifically mention that this time, though, is because I feel like the chances of us experiencing that in our lifetime, at least our generation is a lot less than being burglarized. You know what I mean? And I only say that because it seems like a lot of cases people are buying, firearms, especially, people who don't shoot all that often, but they want something to protect their home because, most times burglaries that happen don't often always happen with just one person. It's usually 1, 2, or 3 people that are, on drugs. And I know, if you look at the statistics, that's usually the case. So I only said that because seems like a more likely reason, a likely scenario to happen,
Oh, no, self-defense is definitely an important aspect of gun ownership. Again, I covered this stat too. In 2013, the CDC had a $10 million study that was pushed by Obama. And that study estimated between 500,000 and 3 million guns were used in self-defense per year. The Washington Post and NPR kind of pushed back on that and said it was closer to 100,000 times. So self-defense is definitely an important aspect of gun ownership.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a valid point. And Duper and I, you'll hear it in the show if anybody listens to that. But we did kind of go back and forth on this license idea because this was we're very much on the same page where I looked at it. I look at guns as a tool, right? That have a purpose, and you should have a purpose to use a tool. And I think that you should have some kind of proof that you know how to use that tool, right? Like I don't want any carpenter coming into my house with a hammer and fucking my walls up. That was kind of the idea there.
Well,
so I agree with you.
I mean,
on that.
there are states out there that already do that kind of stuff, like here in California. In order, if you want to go buy a firearm, you need to have a safety card, and that safety card that you're issued is after you take a test and all that stuff to show that you're capable of handling the firearm that you're purchasing.
Right, and so
Rick and I actually took that a step further.
That,
we took that a step further, not just a test, but an actual class that you have to attend.
Right.
We both felt that at the end you should fire that firearm, right? Because one very important aspect of owning a firearm is, are you going to freeze when you actually need to use it, right? Are you going to be afraid of the gun in the house, right? Or are you going to actually respect it? Because until you fired it, you might not fully respect it and the power and the damage that it can do, right? So maybe we need to actually have some training so then we can train around safe usage, safe storage, and just how to properly assemble and disassemble it, just so then you can get familiar with it, because that would reduce that accidental death that happens so often as well. And then also firing it. We also both thought firing the weapon was
see, that's one of the things that trips me out too is like if you want to get a CCW, right, you have to take classes that qualify you to carry that firearm, and the classes include all of that kind of instruction. I don't understand why it's only for when you want to get a CCW. If you want to carry it on your person, it should be for gun ownership in general.
And I agree. Duper too. The California licenses, right? The California licenses are for long gun and handguns, and both of them are like 25 question tests. They'll help you fill it out, and then you get your license.
Yes. And the other issue I felt that we needed to address was, so we were talking about burglaries earlier, right, Noah? So who is most susceptible to that burglary, right? It's usually proximity crime, so it's going to be somebody within that neighborhood. A drug addict's not going to drive 45 minutes away to go commit a crime in Beverly Hills, right? So they're going to usually do it in their neighborhood. So who really needs that self-defense weapon the most? Well, the poor, right? So people in these impoverished areas. So one thing that I felt was important, if we're gonna have people take these safety classes, I also felt like the government should fund these safety classes. They should be free to the public.
Absolutely.
So then people can go out there and actually be ready to self-defend, because you've heard a lot of talk about insurance and raising insurance.
I was just going to say that.
And that just prices out the people that need it the most.
So
absolutely, it should be tiered like that. Yeah.
Who's going to be responsible for performing and managing these classes when you say the government?
Yeah, I mean.
And that's the slippery slope that I always worry about.
Well,
too,
no,
right?
see, that's actually a simple thing, right?
Is it?
Yeah, you put it
not.
You put it onto the firearm stores. If you want to sell firearms, you need to offer these classes. They're not saying they can't charge for the classes.
But then you would need a regulation from up top, right, for unilaterality.
Yeah, you do.
Maybe
well, they already.
I
mean, they already have regulation and everything. I mean,
the local sheriff department, police department could regulate that.
But if we're going back to my 2A, if we're going back to my 2A argument, right, and the reason why it's important is to protect the First Amendment. Well, now you have the government with direct oversight about who can own a firearm. I mean, that is a dangerous dangerous road.
Yeah, it can turn the way that you don't want it to go, but at the same time, it could be effective.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
have to find that. You just have to
okay.
balance it, right? Sorry,
Oh.
Noah. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I just want to ask a question. Lee, earlier you mentioned about the classes. How many, I forget what it is in California, but how many classes do you have to take, for like a CCW?
You take the one.
Yeah, exactly. That's my problem too. Is you got to take one. So even with your driver's license, which is nonchalant, right? It's just a thing, right? Even though you can still take lives of that accidentally, whatever. But we got to take, I forget what it is in California.
Or purposely, people have proven.
Remember, but
Yeah.
yeah, or purposely. Yeah, exactly. But I just mean like the reason why I asked that is because even when I got my firearm, I didn't have to take a class. I didn't have to do shit. I had to wait 3 days to get it after a background check in Florida.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it. So 3 days I'm out of there with a handgun, and that's it. There was nothing I had to do, man. So again, even being pro guns, but like the same thing, there should be way, like I own one, and I'm saying it should be kind of a pain in the ass, like a bitch to own a gun. Like I should have to register
I don't
that
think it
shit
should
every
be.
year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wouldn't go
I
that
think
far.
it should. I think it should, bro. I think it should because, dude, people forget things, man. And there's new things that happen every year. Laws change all the time. Dude, look at half the law enforcement doesn't know the laws accurately, dude. They don't. So it's like, they get informed of policies within the department in certain areas, but most people aren't familiar with the laws and how they change from each year to year. So I'm saying, why is that a bad thing to have to take a class? Like, let's say every 2 years you get recertified, or to keep registering it every year. It doesn't take anything. If that's important to you, just like insurance.
I want to say it needs to be that often, maybe 4 years. But I do agree with you that we need repetition on training and education, right? I would happily go to these training classes. Dude. I would.
So while I'm perfectly fine with the type of repetition you guys are talking about and all that kind of stuff, right? One of the things
that shouldn't be a problem for you either.
One of the things that concerns me is that people seem to fall into this belief that by doing all of this, we're still going to stop the criminals from getting a hold of anything and doing anything outside of our scope.
There was actually a poll that just came out today, and it said 44% of Republicans believe that freedom is something. It was worded something to the. Let me look it up and let me read it exactly. Go ahead, Rick.
No, well, yeah, look it up. Actually, two things here. Cecil in our chat actually said, when does personal responsibility come into it? Cecil, you got to listen to that show. That's actually, I think we were 3 minutes in before we said litigation, like what happened to personal accountability, because there is a lot of that. I think one of the things that we did tack on to this, and no, I agree with you. I think that it's not that you want to make it so cumbersome. Like a lot of people come out and look at that, and Lee, that's the big point, right? The criminals, but having something at least there where you're saying, okay, I'm registered, I've got the training, and I want to take it a step further here. And I know we kind of talked about this on our show, Duper, but that psychological profiling, just having a background check, talking to somebody that can identify anything that might be a red flag, honestly, a real red flag. I think that should be a part of a gun ownership to show that you are an actual responsible human being and you're able to do that. You can't buy a fucking house without essentially having to go through that kind of stuff, right?
Escrow.
I mean, what about
bill? So yeah,
hey, what about
Josh knows about escrow.
What about?
I could be wrong, but I was gonna say, what about like a credit check or something? I'm just saying, I don't know if that tells someone that they're responsible or whatnot.
It does when you're trying to get a security clearance apparently by the government.
No, because that goes right back to disarming the people who need it the most, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Really
that's right. It's true, and that's your first right, is to be able to defend yourself. Yeah,
right.
It has nothing to do with credit. Yeah,
it has nothing to do with you took out too much debt, right? You still.
I guess I'm
asking
like what factors tell someone else that hey, this person is responsible, and there's virtually no signs that this person would ever commit a crime with this firearm.
Today, what we've talked about, I don't think would have solved one single firearm mass shooting that we've seen. What it would do is prevent accidental That's which is important, right? I mean,
Well-
there's a
well,
large
yeah,
number.
yeah.
I'm not
there's
gonna
a large
I'm
number
not
of
gonna
people that
allow you to
died.
say it wouldn't have stopped any of them because I guarantee you it would have stopped Uvalde.
Well, in 2020, 535.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If he
unintentional-
was dead set on doing it, he was going to do it regardless. But
Okay.
he wouldn't have had access to the 2 AR-15s that he purchased in a week.
But okay, but
Yeah.
the education and the safety training would do nothing to stop him.
No,
No,
yeah,
nothing,
yeah,
right?
and
He
that's
had
what I was
no-
gonna
But a
say
mental
earlier
health
to
check
your-
probably would have.
not necessarily, right? But what I mean,
I don't think a lot of people are able to hide their mental illness.
dude, I told you,
Well,
Yeah,
94%.
see,
The
I
Las
would
Vegas
agree
shooter,
with that.
he-
But at the end of the day, it's like when you go in, let's say you need to do a psych evaluation before you go in to purchase a firearm, right? And the psych eval is something you got to pay for out of your own pocket because you really want to own a firearm for your house for whatever reason. Okay, you go in and you sit down with this evaluator, right? And they might sit there and talk to you for a half an hour, but when they talk to you is after you fill out their 500-point questionnaire. Okay, and if you know how to answer these questions and you know how to talk to this person, they'll never catch on to you at all. So really, it doesn't solve anything.
What if he gets
What-
50%
Yeah,
of
yeah.
those guys?
And I actually have a solution, kind of. Rick didn't agree with it, but I did have a solution towards this.
Asylums?
In our yes, asylums. First off, yes. Bring them motherfuckers
Bring
back.
the asylums
There it
back.
is. He wants to bring back Gotham, man.
I made a big argument towards this. I want those badass Gotham City fucking asylums to come back.
He wants fucking Batman here.
He wants
He's like, if there was
Arkham.
Batman, there'd
Yeah.
be no problems with gun control.
I didn't say that.
Yeah,
I didn't say that. I
exactly.
said Arkham needs to come back. Arkham Asylum needs to be back in every city, and it needs to be that big, scary, dark motherfucking gothic
Yeah, it's so
building.
cool. When they go in, they're not bad. They come out, they're like 10 times worse. So now we got like bigger problems. to
But
deal
now they're colorful villains.
And,
So
and
it's
you know
not-
what? You know what?
with.
You know what?
And they're wearing
Lobotomy.
hoods.
Lobotomy.
And the lobotomies. Oh my god.
Like
Yeah,
a
Jesus.
dude comes out
You
with
have to
fucking
add
green
the
hair and a
lobotomies,
purple
dude.
suit, and you're like, all right,
So-
we know the bad guys.
so-
now.
Yeah, just remove all motor functions. You're good.
So while we've effectively discussed ways to kind of regulate gun ownership and things that we think might actually help, in that line of thinking, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, you kind of got to look at it like how we've had the war on drugs for so long, right? Because the real war that we're
Yeah.
fighting is with these people who don't give a fuck about the law,
Right.
right?
Right.
And
Yeah,
why?
absolutely.
And then you got to take a look, like a hard look at why don't they give a fuck about the law? And you got to look across the country at some of these cities. Look at LA County, right? Where even gun laws aren't effectively upheld, and they're not allowed to be used in the manner at which I think they were intended to be used, because we want to rehabilitate people instead of making sure that we're taking them off the street, and we want to make sure that we can prove that they're capable of being with society, when the reality is, no matter what, they're always going to have a firearm in their possession, whether they're a felon or not, and they're still going to commit acts of violence or crime with said firearms. It's just the way it fucking goes.
So
And we
here's
got to
one of
figure out
the-
how to get through that.
And here's
I had
that
an
poll,
idea,
Rick,
right?
Rick, real quick, here's that poll. It was 44% of Republicans think mass shootings are unfortunately something we have to accept as part of a free society. That was the exact quote to their
So-
answer.
Here's my random idea. I know this isn't going to be a cure all to all, and I've heard this before, and I actually, it makes sense to me, right? When we look at what we have as a nuclear deterrent, right, with these other superpowers, it's just because we have the nukes. We don't know where they are. We are, like, they don't know where we have them. They don't know what we're going to do with them. It's the same thing here. Why not go to a deterrent phase where it's like, hey, not only can you get that gun license, but it comes as a CCW. You can conceal. Anybody can conceal if they pass and they're capable, and you don't know if that motherfucker you're about to mess with has a gun or not, right? So now it's not about like, I gotta arm the teacher. It's like, will I even make it that far? Because I don't know who's actually armed and who's
Apparently, our feelings and opinions aren't fact here, according to Albert.
not. What do you say?
I don't know. He's being Albert. He's
For
being a
anyone
fucking
that
cat
hasn't
hiding in a
listened to
corner.
the podcast versus Saturday Morning with Rick and Duper, you're going to find more stats you can actually research. Unfortunately, feelings and opinions here aren't fact. Okay, so he's just saying look up some facts. There were a lot of
No,
facts
he's
to
just
show,
being
but that's
Albert.
why it's a
He
2-hour
was
fucking
saying
show.
to listen to your guys'
I'm kidding,
episode for
Jesus.
more
Oh,
stats.
Jesus Christ!
Come
like,
on.
My
shitting on
God,
him when he's
forgive
promoting
me.
us.
he's
I know.
literally he's the first person that called and said I listened to that straight through.
And you
So,
know what?
thank
The-
you.
I also listen to Greg and my Uvalde conspiracy theory show because we
You have a conspiracy theory about it?
But there's a ton of conspiracy
There
theories
was,
around.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, these conspiracy theories about everything, though.
Bob Barker's a crazy dude.
Top Flight Golf.
Is Noah still there?
Yeah. I'm here. Yep.
You have any more points?
No, I mean, I guess to Lee's thing, when you brought up earlier about like if you did all this, would it stop anyone? Or stop everything? I think is what you said, Lee. Like something like, would that stop everyone? It doesn't, obviously. I mean, back in the day, they didn't have seatbelts in cars, and you put seatbelts in to protect some people, and to protect some people, it doesn't save everyone's lives. You know what I mean? But the fact is, like, can we put things in place to try to minimize, some of these things from occurring? And I definitely think so. And
Right.
I just don't understand why there's so much pushback on some of these things that could be done. Like I said, whether it's having licenses to own certain firearms. Or
the thing is, you're gonna always have opposition to anything that you talk about.
For sure,
right?
For sure.
It's because
that's not true.
Okay, it's because you have and while I'm not against the NRA, right? You have the NRA that wants everyone to have open carry and concealed carry, and everyone should be able to just go in and buy a firearm tomorrow, right? And then you have opposition to that, which says otherwise, and then so on and so forth. But the reality is, I mean, look at cities like Chicago, right, where they have some of the strictest gun laws you can imagine, but they have just a homicide rate that's through the fucking roof with firearms.
Yeah, but that's a whole other.
I know. I mean, but it's just like
conversation as well. There.
No, I know. I mean, and well, it sure as shit is an entirely different conversation. The reason I bring it up is because it wraps around to the gun control topic in general.
There's no compromise between our politicians, right? And that's a huge issue that we have.
That's
which is kind of
exactly.
It's kind of built that way, right? And that's the reason why we have the filibuster. That's the reason why we have super majorities.
Yeah,
we have those things to pass laws. So then the process is slow and deliberate. But right now we're so polarized as a country. You have the Democrats, the far left, who really do want to take away your gun rights. They do want you to not own guns. If you don't believe that, just look at Canada and what they just passed with Trudeau, right?
Oh, 100%.
But then you have your other issue with your Lauren Bobbitts on the other side, who wants to take a Christmas photo. Bobert, she wants to take a Christmas photo with her AR-15 because she loves her AR-15 so much.
Yeah.
It's too much, right? It's too far on each side, and it's so. Yeah. If it was difficult for Rick and I to come up with a premise to work off of, imagine how difficult it is for people that polarized and that far apart
to actually
it's
come
wild
up with
in
today's world.
Because I think they want to do it on purpose.
Okay,
and be polarized like that on purpose.
Yeah, I think so.
Can I ask you guys something?
All ears.
Okay,
I guess you're on the phone. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this.
I mean, shit.
Okay, because I don't. If you really ask me, like, okay, what is a possible trigger for these things happen? Because what was the first one? The first school shooting that was it was Columbine, right? First thing, right? Now before that, and that was in what year? It was
99.
Yeah, 98. Okay, so that was the first one, and then sometime after. Okay, it started getting. It started slowly progressing to like where there was more and more, right? It didn't just happen where it was like Columbine and then it was like one after the other, like it is today, right? Like in the last 6 years, 7 years, right? So what do you guys think about the way we publicize these?
You just got to listen to a 2-hour episode.
Just listen to the 2-hour episode at this point, Noah.
You guys talked about this? Well,
absolutely.
I missed it. I didn't.
100%. No, we did.
We absolutely blame the media.
That's
110%.
Part of our solutions. The media is
give me like a quick recap of like what you? Yeah.
Here's the quick recap. I'll give some credit to Rick on this because we don't focus enough on the media, on the victims, right? We focus too much on the perpetrator. And what that does is it breeds copycats, right? It breeds somebody who wants to imitate that person. We need to get back to the humanity, right? And that humanity is within the victims. It's not in the perpetrator. It's in the victims. And if we focus on the pain that these families are going through, which is kind of hard to balance that with also respecting their privacy and what their grieving process. Mm-hmm. But if we focus on the victims, maybe that would switch something within humanity and within our society where we go back to actually caring about one another again, where we actually do see the value of life and we see what these terrible events will actually do to our loved ones and those around us. Did you want to
other thing-
elaborate on?
We
Yeah,
we
like,
also,
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
well, I was just gonna say the other major part of this in the media is that it gives a platform for people to feel like that. A lot of, you notice this with a lot of the school shooters, especially, right? They're younger guys. They're all
Yeah.
under 20. They've been picked on. They have some kind of weird family life, and they need to feel in control. They need power. They need attention. They need to
For
feel
sure.
important. And when the media is going to blast your face clear across the country and let everybody
it.
know your name and who you were and who you are, that's going to be encouragement to do this again and again and again, right? So
Yeah,
I think that was one of the major things that we were trying to push on the show too.
That
That's
lack
so-
of affection from their parents and their friends and things of that sort is actually coming from the media when they do these terrible acts.
So curious, what do you guys think about, like, because I was thinking, and I don't know, maybe you guys talked about this because you've told me that a few times, and but what do you guys think about like okay, so this makes it on the news, right? Let's say the guy, the shooter, right, was never on the news. Let's say we covered that part. We're like, okay, so we're only talking about the victims now for these things, right?
Mhm.
What do you think about, like, if that coverage never left the state, for example, like if other news networks were not able to cover or show it to any other states, so like outside of Texas, for example?
I think that's a suppression of media, and I think that's
Yeah,
definitely
it's
against
against-
our.
yeah.
Not saying the news wouldn't be out there, but the outlets for sure, like these, on TV and stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's censoring the media, and I think that's dangerous, and we can't go down that path because that leads to propaganda, right? Because you always got to think about unintended consequences of these types of things, and that the unintended consequence of that is propaganda directly from the government. So you wouldn't want that.
Yeah, we kind of
It's
discussed that too.
it's a lot to tackle. It's a lot to think about. I think the one thing we can all be consistent on is that the DPS in Texas did not do their fucking job. They did not do it effectively.
Jesus shit.
And the people,
100%.
I'm pretty certain that the people who did respond to that scene, I'm not sure if every single one of them chose the wrong career, but I'm destined to say that every single one of them chose the wrong fucking career.
I agree with you 100%. Every fucking
Every
one of
single
them
one of those people need to
chose
lose
the
their
wrong
jobs.
career because not a single fucking one of them went in.
And
If I am on scene and I'm being told to stand down, but I have an option to go in that room, and I hear these shots and these screams coming from that, because I guarantee there is screams and I guarantee there is children.
well, I mean,
dying over the
there was
fucking
kids
place.
calling 911 from the classrooms, whispering,
Tommy,
saying he's still shooting
That's
and
enough.
he's in
Yeah,
here.
that's
I
enough.
mean, you know what?
Do you remember the Parkland shooting when there was one
Yes.
security guard there
Yep.
and he was
Around
stuck
the back
out there
door.
alone?
Yep, on the video.
And he was alone.
Yes.
And how much shit he got for not running in.
Yeah.
And
I
you're
don't care
talking
about that.
Yeah.
A
I do-
fucking police department that did not even go in there.
But I do
Like-
not care about the shame that would be involved. I care about
No, but
I have kids, right? And
Right.
I would not be able to forgive this police department if any of this
Nope.
happened.
Absolutely not.
Right.
The amount of
Um,
lawsuits coming towards this police department.
Fuck
And
the
it's gonna be
lawsuits.
on
These
fire.
guys-
Well, you know what?
That-
I hope.
that right
I
there,
hope
that's the
they get.
reason.
What's that?
That's the reason why they don't want that parent talking.
Yeah,
So-
I hope
You know
they
what?
get sued to the point where they have to fucking close.
That parent needs a statue, and all those police officers need to lose their job.
Absolutely.
fucking-
Every
Let's hope-
every
let's
single
hope
one of them.
Abbott steps up and does some shit here.
You know, they're
Honestly.
once the
Yeah, I agree.
investigation's over, they're saying that they're going to hold the people accountable for their actions, and I'm truly hoping that they are all 110% held accountable, because that's
and
fucking
to be
horse shit.
fair, to be fair with what we're saying, this is with the information that's available today. Who knows? Tomorrow something might come out,
Right.
as we've seen with this shooting. The narrative keeps on changing, and there's constantly new information, right? So maybe there's some information that I don't know. If you're on the perimeter and you're a police officer and your job was to secure the perimeter, I don't think necessarily you should lose your job, right? That's your fucking job. That's your role within this role, or within this tragedy that's happening, right? But there are definitely the police that were on site in the school. I do think that they should.
Yeah,
lose their
that's the
job.
thing, is they had a
Sending
team
any
together.
new information.
They formed a team. They made entry. Once they made entry, they should have been fully engaged.
The only caveat I can give a police department on this, and it does not sound like this is what happened, is if that shooter was having a hostage situation, then you do not necessarily engage right away, right?
Well, no, and see
You stand back
that's
and you wait,
but
right?
see, that's where the on-scene commander, who thought he was
Right.
doing the right thing, fucked up. He turned it into a barricaded hostage situation,
Right.
when there was still active shots ringing out.
when it was a massacre instead.
Right. And while I completely understand that there are different ways to handle a barricaded suspect versus an active shooter, right?
But that is the reason why they were putting out that propaganda that all the
Right.
shooting happened in the first 4 minutes.
Because they're trying to cover their own fucking ass now.
Because they wanted to sound like a hospital.
Yeah, well, I got news for you. Good luck covering your ass. America's coming for you, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck
Big
that.
time.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah. And I
Hey, what did they
rightfully
say
so.
about were the windows covered or something? They didn't have access to you.
They had snipers outside, and I've not heard a good response from the police department that says why they did not engage with the shooter.
We probably won't hear
yeah,
anything
that's-
until after the entire investigation is done.
Yeah.
Once the
But-
report's
That's why
released as
I
to why
never-
things happened, we'll figure it out then. Until then, it's all hearsay and what the department wants you to hear,
Yeah, exactly.
and it's
Right.
it's stupid.
But yeah, I've not heard a good argument in favor why a sniper did not engage.
No.
So
'Cause that's the thing that kind of shocks me the most, to be honest with you.
So
yeah, I mean, considering. Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Oh no, I was just going to transfer this topic too. So can we talk about, since active shooters are such an active thing, obviously, and they're just never ending. So Lee, you can tackle this if you want, or I can kind of cover it. But say any of our fat asses or any of our adorable fans happen to find themselves in an active shooter situation, what should they do?
Well, you know
Say
what?
They're not armed. They're
I think-
somewhere.
I think if they want to get that kind of take from the military law enforcement side of this entire podcast, they should listen into the after show. No, you're more than welcome to stay on if you'd like. And
are we doing an after show?
yeah,
Yes.
Oh,
Dude,
okay.
I feel like 40 hours of fucking podcast in a week. Goddamn right we're doing.
yeah.
Post
Wow.
Sorry, Lord.
Josh is out.
We've certainly run long tonight, and we appreciate everyone sticking around, commenting all of their thoughts, and
Seriously.
listening to what
We
our
love the
opinions were.
engagement. Love the engagement.
Make sure you check out the podcast that was released from Rick and Duper. Apparently, they made some awesome points and have some awesome things.
It actually
that
turned
you
out to
should
be a
all
good
hear.
conversation.
I want to say thoughts and prayers.
Oh,
You dick.
Jesus.
To
Oh,
Ukraine.
you asshole.
Fucking go.
And I explained that a little bit on the podcast as well. So
All right.
no, but for the families out there, our hearts are definitely with you.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
We're all hurting, and it's a terrible event.
Yes, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
Josh said, "Fuck you, Lee." Josh flipped me off.
Noah, hey, thanks for jumping in out of nowhere there with some points.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
for having me, man.
The first
Yeah.
point that you brought on, I didn't think we addressed. So yeah, thank you.
And
Cool,
I want to
cool.
point out everybody that commented tonight, our chat has been going off. It's been crazy. We've got so many different perspectives, so many different opinions, and it was a civil conversation. I didn't see anybody yelling at each other. It's
Remember,
nice to see that.
If any of you guys' name is
Yeah.
Gloria and you make us a sandwich, you'll get a free sticker.
Mm.
Yep.
We should probably send something to Noah for jumping on. And
Oh,
dealing with the
absolutely.
gauntlet of
Yeah.
everybody here.
Albert's
What's that?
jealous because he didn't get the call in.
Yeah, that's okay.
So
Albert
good
can
job,
suck
Noah.
it.
He is so jelly.
Yeah.
Not to
Lee, you wanna
not
say
to
something?
not to monetize ourselves after such a crazy topic, but if you check out our store, www.takewarningstore.com, we're uploading new merch almost weekly. So go on there, support us, and help us put out more content for you. It aids us greatly.
If you use code Lee70, you'll get 50% off.
Shut the fuck up. That is not true. Do not use code Lee70. You will not get anything. I mean, you could type it in, it'll just say invalid code.
Hey, can we make it if they use League 70, it charges them double?
Fucking
That's
gold,
fucked
Art.
up.
This is why I'm keeping you around.
Leave it to the Mexican to come
Yeah.
up with some fucking
I will
shit
extort
like that.
every single one of you white guys.
Yeah. Again, Noah, thanks for joining us, and thanks for watching,
Yeah.
everybody.
you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
There goes
Later.
the mic.
All right, everybody. Thank you
Greg,
for
go.
listening. You fucking dick, dude.
Let's try and get one more out.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the...
Just rub it out.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the show today. Please go to takewarningpod.com where you can explore additional content on the podcast, as well as find the links to the podcast on your favorite podcast platforms. Also, please get on social media. We are on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Take Warning. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you like about the show, what your thoughts are on the show, and what you would like to see in a future podcast.